What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It's time for that cause, because when that cause don't stop, when the clock hits zero. 9:30, baby. It's Wednesday night, and let me tell you something. I'm a little bit more juiced up than usual because we are less than 24 hours away from the high school football season officially kicking off in the state of Tennessee. We've got a doozy of a matchup Thursday night as the appetizer, as I like to call it. There's a few games throughout the state on Thursday night, but before the full slate on Friday, and then what I like to call the cherry on the top dessert Saturday night. We'll get to that here shortly, but we are less than 24 hours away from kickoff rivalry Thursday. Halls at Oak Ridge, two teams that would traditionally were both in 5A last year. Oak Ridge in the jump to 6A. But I'm telling you guys, I'm excited as anything to talk about the show tonight. I want you on the chat box tonight. What you want to talk about? High school football. They are dominating this week because next week we'll be talking all college football. We'll talk a little high school, obviously, but more than anything, this week high school has got the week because it's their week. Over the weekend, you're also going to see some of the infamous big name national schools that are vying for that mythical national championship. Schools like John Bosco, Martyr, who can forget IMG, Chaminade Madonna, American Heritage, St. Thomas Aquinas, Bishop Gorman. The names are going to be there. The faces change. The stars of tomorrow all showcased throughout the weekend, especially during the day to get you ready for that stuff at night. It's just so exciting, guys. So exciting. Lot to talk about, but got some housekeeping business first before we dive into it. As always, remember, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of Knoxville West High School. These are the Rebels with a Cause crew, whether it's myself, the Italian Stallion, two-pair tape Brian Tate, the coach Shane McGee, or our newest crew member, the one, the only, big game, Kerry Reeves. But as always, if we have pointed something wrong, please point that out if we've inaccurately said something, as well as voice your opinions. That's what the chat box is all about. This show is just as much as your show as it is ours. And more importantly, we love the participation. What do you guys want to talk about, especially with tonight's show being about the high school football? Obviously, viewers that that listen after the show, but remember, if there's a topic that maybe we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about, email us. Honestly, you can always hit me up at the game j@gmail.com, and always, just like, share, comment. That's what we need right now. Want to also thank our 95 subscribers. We are 5 subscribers away from 100, which I would love to have when we go live for our game day edition Saturday morning live from West High School. I can't thank the powers that be for allowing me to do this. This is a dream come true. I'll talk more about it here shortly, but I also got to get some housekeeping business done. Got to give some love to our sponsors. First and foremost, my gal Kim Castle, King's Chamber. Actually got to go hit her up here shortly. But remember, guys, she's there on the pike there at King's Chamber to give you the royal treatment. 2 tasty beverages, whether you like alcohol or not, and gives you the royal treatment there. We're talking haircuts. We're talking beard trims, shaves. We're talking waxes. We're talking the pedicures and the manicures. Got a VIP membership for a $200 flat fee that will cover all those services and then some. You also have just her booking rate. Just go in there, give her a call, see if you can get a spot in there. Let them know Rebels with a Cause sent you. You'll get a discount in no time. Also, got to give some love to a class of 2003 grad, Mr. Alex Thatcher and his Knoxville Coffee Company. Supposed to get chilly next week. I don't know what's up with that, but lo and behold, that Knoxville Coffee Company, they're in the heart of Marble City, located off of Sutherland Avenue. Go let them know Rebels with a Cause told you they are the best brew in town. And it's good any time of the day, and especially if it does get cold, like they say. Also got to give some love to our guys, Josh Fink and Corey over at Razor Shop Barbershop in Knoxville. If you want a traditional thing done at the barbershop there, go check them out. Let them know that Two Pair Tate, 332 Studios, and Rebels with a Cause sent you. And maybe they might even hook you up with a little discount themselves. And last but not least, can't talk about our show without our sister show, our sister network, Big Fat Sports Network. Follow them at 332 Studios, doing all sorts of things. If you missed it when they went live, they've been up there. The scrimmages that West had against both Jefferson County and Catholic, myself, the Italian Stallion, and Two Pair Tate on the call, making sure that that the teams got their DAP with no TV coverage being on. But speaking of TV coverage, we will talk about that. Also, got to give some love to the Rebel cleanup that happened last Saturday. Thank you to all the parents and everyone who came out, myself included, that really took the time out of their busy day on probably one of the hottest days it felt like, just getting everything ready. The stadium looks immaculate, and we hope to showcase it on Saturday. That new field house is ready to go. Lots of hard work. It has really been from the ground up, and the fact is that the fruits of the hard labor by everybody that has put their heart and soul into this team, from the players to the coaches to the parents to the alumni to the school faculty and administration. Everything is going to pay off starting Saturday, and we hope that we get a ginormous crowd. It's Bearden West. Don't let the weather scare you. I've seen worst weather forecasts and nothing happened. Remember, weather forecasters are paid to be wrong, and they're the only job that gets to be wrong and keep their job. Keep that in mind. But that being said, I wanted to thank Bo Sutton and the rest of the Rebel Council and everybody that participated, parents wise. Everybody worked hard, and shout out to all our efforts and on the back for that. We couldn't do this without you to have such a special team and program. Program is the key word with a capital P, and the culture that that program makes. It's a brotherhood. If you're not a rebel, you wouldn't understand. It's Rebels with a Cause, baby. Also, Saturday morning, high school game day, 9 a.m., live from West High School. Rain or shine, I will be there, and we are going to break down the rivalry, West versus Bearden. Now, for whatever reason, listen, if Backyard Burgers or whoever is Five Guys, whoever is sponsoring this, I've been seeing that this is the 58th meeting. I'd love to see which meetings that I've maybe added, but according to what I use, which is the Tennessee High School football history, Saturday will mark the 63rd meeting between West and Bearden. I will break down who has the edge in the series, especially after the year 2000, because that's really a tall tale of where this rivalry lies. More than you know, one thing that we're going to break down is some of the classic games that took place at West's Stadium. We'll also talk about what happened in last year's game. The faces are different, but we have a lot of the same players coming back. And I know that it's going to be another dandy in the rivalry of West Knoxville between West and Bearden. And lo and behold, it's going to be a classic game Saturday night. And we're going to obviously break it down, go in depth. We would love for you to participate. Last year, we had 100 views. It was our highest rated show until Coach Lindsay came on, and he has the record for most views on the show. Shout out to Coach Lindsay. Hope to see him Saturday night, the Doctor of Style. But truth be known, is that I would love to have over 100 views again. All of our subscribers, hit that like button. Really show what this channel is all about. It is Rebels with a Cause, because that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. Just remember that. More importantly, the one thing that I do want to stress to everyone is the fact that we couldn't do this without you. We do this show because of you guys, and especially the football team. I'm really proud of each and every one of you. From the seniors that you've stuck with this. You could have easily just said, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And I know some have. I know some can't play because of injuries and things that maybe they moved away. There's all sorts of circumstances. But this is it, guys. This is the senior year. This is your legacy. Sure, you've won a couple of these, but why don't you want to win another one? Add another of one of these beautiful babies behind me, honestly. That's what it's all about when it's showcased. And your journey, your story continues to be written on Saturday. For the juniors, the sophomores, and now the freshmen that have gone up through the ranks, this is the brotherhood for life. This is Rebels with a Cause. You are part of an elite brotherhood, and we all love and care for one another. It doesn't stop after you walk across that stage in May. We support you, we believe in you, and we know that you guys are going to do great things this season, honestly, and just leave it out on the field. And, for anybody that is not maybe starting, just remember your time might come when you least expect it, and you always got to be ready to go. Everybody is one play away. And I stress that because it's a beautiful game, a violent game, but at the same time, you always got to be ready when your number's called. And things happen for a reason, but you just got to dust it off and keep fighting. That's what this is all about. That being said, and not everybody gets the opportunity that you young men get, whether you're for West, for any other team. There are some people that maybe have some birth issues that couldn't allow them to physically play this violent sport. You have an opportunity every time you step on that field, whether it's for practice or for a game, to leave your mark out there more than anything. So just something to really, really keep in mind and treasure those moments because, guys, one day you wake up and you're my age and you're just calling the game or you're just covering it from behind the scenes. Some people have longer careers than others. Some get to make it to the next level. But all in all, just know that you left your mark out there and you can be a legend, with the school. And obviously we showcase you on this show in any sport for all of our teams in the men's and women's sports there at West. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, 9 a.m. Join us for high school game day. That being said, high school football is back. Week 0. Can you feel it in the air tonight, baby? It's there. I love it. And may the odds ever be in your favor. We appreciate your tributes, to quote the Hunger Games. But no, honestly, it's back. And let me tell you something. I don't know if it was on purpose that this was done, but I couldn't find a better slate of week 0 games. I want to call this week 0 because that's what it was traditionally a build when they added a bye week in there for the teams. Back when I played, it was 10 weeks straight and you just dealt with it. And then you got to November if you were lucky enough to make the playoffs and you had 5 more games there. But that being said, this is week 0, but I'll tell you, there's nothing zero about it. You have some matchups that, I mean, I think that the schedule this year, maybe there's some weeks that have a little bit are more top heavy like this week, but you still have some fantastic matchups that haven't happened between teams in a long, long time, and if ever. And so, what's really going to be very interesting is the moves and the changes and the shaking and the baking that has happened and so forth. And truth be told, I look at somebody like the Marivals and the Alcoas, that game has in the last couple of years been put at the end of the year, and for them to kind of move it back to where it was in the early 2010s to the beginning of the year. I think that's where the place needs to be, honestly, more than anything. So let me tell you something. I'm so glad he's here because you want to know something. For damn 86 episodes or whatever we're up to now, I'm going to tell you this. I couldn't do this without this guy because he's one of the OGs. He loves it as much as me. He loves any sport in high school, honestly. But I can't wait to talk some high school football with him because this is what started it all, baby. And we might have delved into a few other things, but at the end of the day, it is Rebels with the Cause. It's this football team. It's the basketball team. It's the school that gave us this platform, this opportunity, and anything that we can do to and show love to our little brothers and sisters that play the sports now that we at our graduating classes played back 20 something years ago. It's an honor, honestly. So, but without further ado, got to bring him on, Mr. 2003 West, now voice of the running Rebels and Lady Rebels for 20 years. That's a generation. And let me tell you something. You get this guy a mic. I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to be entertained one way or the other. That's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring him on, my brother, my favorite Florida State Seminole, the one, the only, Mr. Two Pair Tate, Brian Tate. What is up, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's kind of rare. You know what I'm saying? I normally don't get in the first 15, 20 minutes of the show.
Oh yeah.
Not like, I mean, this is back to the old days.
This is back to the old days, and I'm going to tell you this, man. I think it's fitting because it's been a long damn off season, Two Pair. Honestly,
Man, to think about, you consistently doing this almost every week, and then we look at the trials and tribulations of what went on in the off season. We look at a lot of players that we thought we would see, we don't see. Um, we've even had we've even had a quarterback that we never even got to see play. You know
hmm
what I mean? Like
yeah.
a lot of stuff has happened within these 86 episodes.
Yeah, 86 episodes. I mean, to think
I
that
mean,
this all started from that second state championship,
yeah,
to the run of the basketball teams that may have fallen short of what the goals that we had expectations for.
absolutely.
Shit happens,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, man. Shit happens. Yeah.
But at the same time, though, the fact is that we're up to 95 subscribers, Two Pair. We're
Yeah,
five
it's
away from
beautiful.
that 100. We have over 10,000 views. Who would have thought, man?
10,000
And
views in
yeah,
that short amount of time.
in that short amount of time,
And then we also got to look at we were able to do play-by-play commentary in the booth on 332 Studios,
look at that. Look at that.
where we're a big contributor to Big Fact Sports Network, a network that's in Atlanta, is based out of Atlanta that we contribute to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like we went through a coaching change
Yeah.
in football, basketball, uh, women's basketball.
Yeah.
The only
I mean,
thing that
keep talking baseball. Baseball. We
baseball went
got
through
new
coaching.
baseball coaches. We're still going, and we have different coaches at the major sports at West. Honestly, you can't make that up, man.
And I look at all of that, and I've kept this background of Coach E because for what that guy, what I'm saying, to just be thrust in that and become Coach of the Year in the
hmm
district, I mean that says a lot.
hmm
And we saw this from the the firing of one coach and then having somebody come right in and be Coach of the Year.
hmm
Um, we saw where our Coach of the Year was a region Coach of the Year, an offensive Coach of the Year. Now everything's changed.
hmm Yeah,
Everything doesn't remain the same.
it doesn't.
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
look at job wise. I'm not
hmm
doing it. I'm working for myself now,
Look at
doing
me.
what I love to do.
Look at me.
Yeah,
Laid off because of a company sale, and now now I work for a phenomenal company, and I couldn't be happier. They love me.
yeah.
I've been there 60 days, and how bleak it was when you and me were calling that Science Hill spring game. 3 months later, here we are, and look at the difference in everybody's life right now. Honestly, so yeah, we're still here,
Yeah, man,
still
and it's
standing.
wild. Like, think of all the scrimmages that we've covered, all
Mm.
the basketball games,
The
all
live
the
shows,
the
yes.
live shows,
The interviews.
the interviews. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Yep.
you get a pretty much a who's who. I talked to Spencer Davis. He wants to be on the show. I talked to Avery Boss Graves. He wants to be on the show. There is a ton of people that really want. Like we've had Tommy Winton on the show.
Yep.
We've
Ian
had
Reed.
Nathan Cottrell, Tennessee Reed,
Yep.
Troy Smith. We've had a
Choice.
list of who. Coach Lindsay has
Coach
been on the
Lindsay.
show.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Lamar Brown has been on the
Lamar
show.
Brown. Mark Giles has been on the
Mark
show, not
Giles has
as
been
only as
on
a guest, but as a panelist. So
as a
yeah.
panelist.
I mean, yep. So Ryan Perry. Terry Maples, Michael Lynn, Big O. Big
Big
O was
O.
a great
You
one.
know, and here's the kicker. I got to announce Big O's son last night at the tune-ups.
How special is that?
When I tell you, it's like watching Mini O on the court.
Hmm.
It's beautiful, man. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
right now, with what we're doing with the fall league for middle schools, sixth through eighth grade, it's a lot of talent at B Mays Elite. I'm talking about tons of talent. And I want to really shout out T. Minifield over there at the University of Tennessee and everything he's doing with that class of 2031 that is going to be a problem to deal with in the upcoming future.
Nice.
That 2031 class is beautiful,
I like
and I
them.
I really love that they have a fall league, and it feels just like the old Rocky Top summer league days, but with middle schoolers. And I've really enjoyed this, man. And I think leaving Xfinity, leaving Comcast, and being able to do this whenever I want to announce basketball. Like it got to a point when you're leaving a job and you're telling them you need these days off for this and they don't give it to you.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Like you're not valued.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And if I'm not going to be valued, then why be there?
Two pair. What about me? How many hours did I work? How many things did I miss out on? And they flushed me like a turd down a toilet, honestly. And let me throw
Yeah.
this out there. Let me throw this out there real quick. And this is real talk because this is what this show is all about and so forth. How many times did I miss out? I missed my first West game because of that hurricane last year. My first
Mm,
West game. And it was because it was moved on Saturday, the Heritage game. I missed it. And the other thing is how I had to beg people to cover my shift, and I'm the
mm,
boss, supposed to be.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm telling you to do this because I work hard.
Right.
Today at work, I still had maybe 4 or 5 things to do. And you know what my supervisor tells me, two pair? She says to me, James, I don't want to see you after 5:01.
Wow.
I want you to go home. It'll be there
Yeah.
tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you know what I did? I locked up all my stuff. I went home. 5:02. Just like she told me. She said, "I don't want you here past 5:02." I literally was not in the building at 5:02. So that's how nice it is that
Yeah.
I have that luxury, and I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying this, and the stress that's gone, and I get to see you more. I get to be a part of this team.
Mm,
I mean, and let me just tell you this: I already shouted them out. I don't know if you saw or not, but this Rebel cleanup on Saturday, Bo Sutton and the whole West High parents that contributed. I mean, two pair. It was probably the hottest Saturday, but we made that stadium look immaculate. They were cleaning the field
that's
house.
what's
They
up.
were cleaning. People were mowing the lawns that weren't the artificial turf. I cleaned the press box from top to bottom. It looks immaculate in there. I Windexed the windows. And you want to know why I did that? Because it's for this team. It's for this
For a
program.
greater
That's the
cause, man.
commitment. It's for the cause, baby.
And
That's
the
what it's
thing
all
is
about.
like I felt like we kind of changed the perception of what the rebels are just because we have a cause, and we didn't I didn't realize we were doing media training for these
Hmm.
athletes. Like
Hmm.
I you know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
really didn't realize it until it started happening.
Yep.
The more interviews after games, the more like the sideline interviews and the interviews after the championships, if you just look at our who's who and the celebration of the district championship team,
Hmm.
we had the one member that was there is one of my best friends
I know.
to this day, Stuart Oates. It was like we have been kind of that figure for Wes in a way I didn't expect. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like to even have Kerry on the show, to have
Yep.
Shane on the show, to have Larry Frank on the show,
Yep.
who is in a whole nother state
Yeah. And the
talking
Utah
about
and
high
and the
school
Utah
football.
based out of Atlanta. What a small world it is. You got
Small
Big
world.
Fact Sports Network down there, and you got Utah, who had who now has 4 shows a week. I mean, look how that channel has grown in 5 years. I
We
would love
started
for
doing
us to
two
have five
shows a
shows.
week.
We're doing 2 shows a week. It seems
You know
like
what I mean?
now.
And
Yes.
it's like
Yep.
when I thought about doing 332 studios as a network, it's so where you could have a Rebels with a cause, where you could have Rebels with a cause do play by play on 3-3. It was like I wanted a 24-hour sports network that wasn't ESPN, that wasn't Fox Sports, that wasn't the NFL network.
Hmm.
I wanted a network that was kind of dedicated to what CSS used to be.
Yes.
You know what I
Who could
mean? Like
forget old CSS? I mean,
CSS, like
they were the Southern Sports Fox. Or, well, actually, you
yeah,
remember the Sports South? That was just Sports South. It was just
yeah,
that
it was
too. I
Sports
mean,
South.
yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
you remember, like we grew up on that.
yep.
And what I wanted to do with 332 Studios on the sports side was have a way where you're talking about high school sports, you're getting interviews with former players, past players, new players. Like, it's super cool to look back at all these interviews.
Hmm.
When you look at the Hunter Dance interviews, to Parker Dubon, to now the Messiah Renz, the Tavion Rays,
Yep.
the David Draw, like we've had a list of who's who
Hmm.
on this show,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to look back and was like, I was on Rebels with a cause.
You want to know what's crazy? If you remember when Pete Rogers made that big kick against Anderson County and so forth, realistically, I interviewed him after the game, and he made his decision. He didn't want to come back and so forth, and I respect that. He's still a senior at West, and I wish him the best in his endeavors. But he was so like kind of like shocked that I was interviewing him for the show, and I'm like, why wouldn't I? You're the kicker. You've made big kicks all year. I mean,
Mm,
and we didn't even know the big kick that he would make against Sevier County to even get us in that overtime. At that point
man, and
with
that
the
and
with
that's
the ball cold as hell. So 40
yeah,
something yards.
and
So
we were the ones we're the ones with evidence that our guy was in.
absolutely.
Just a lot of things we were a part of.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
What about the shit call against Maryville, or the shit call against West against Maryville in the district tournament this past year? That sucked.
I mean, a bunch of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
in that team, Reese getting hurt. I feel like if Reese doesn't get hurt, that's a state
Oh, no
championship
doubt.
team.
No doubt. And look at and Coach E, even with the loss of Reese, because that happened game 3 against Sevier County, ironically, and he still found a way to win Coach of the Year in his first
Found
year.
a way to win Coach of the Year,
Not
and
many people can overcome their stud two guard to go down
yeah,
through game
and then
3 with a knee
you
injury.
you look at you just look at everybody in that whole time frame. Jalen became better. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Devin became it, and all these guys are playing college basketball now.
I know. I
You
know.
know what I mean? Like all these guys are either walking on somewhere to play. I look at what Reese got into Johnson.
Hmm.
Jalen's at Tusculum.
Hmm.
Just really proud of those guys.
I'm proud of them too. No, they've done great, and we wish them all the best. And
And then
shout
look
out.
at our football guys.
I know. I know. Look
Our
at our
football
football
guys.
guys.
If you look at the scholarships that Rebels with a cause has been a part of in the time frame of what 2023.
Yeah, yeah, because Ryan Scott walked on to UT and got even in a game last year. I hope to see him more this year there at UT. You've got Anderson Smith down there at Wofford playing football. I mean, look at what about CJ? What about CJ? How big he looks, man! I see you, CJ
Looks really
Smith.
good at UTC.
To UTC,
Really gonna be a
baby. I'm
stud
telling you.
for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, you want to know something too, Pear? I was watching the Beard and West game from last year, and it really took me a whole year to watch that game. To be honest with you, I was so.
wow, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It's
really
such
did.
a
I
tough
couldn't
game to
watch it. Like
watch.
I watched a little bit of it, but we really left that one out there. But let it be known. But I'll tell you who doesn't get enough credit in that game: Pork Chop. Because he scored 2 rushing touchdowns at the beginning when we were having issues holding on to the ball. But man, he scored them 2 touchdowns, and in no time, Wes is up 14-13. And at that point, I thought, we got this. And Bearden was probably thinking, here we go again. You knew that was in the back of their minds because everything went right for them to go up 13
Yeah,
nothing. And in the blink of an eye, West is right there 14-13, going into halftime, no less. But Pork Chop really, battling through the injuries. I mean, he got hurt a little bit in the Maryville game and was missed a couple of games, but still was able to contribute so much as a DB. And he's at Maryville. Wyatt DeRoche is at Maryville.
Yeah, a lot of
I
Marvel
mean,
guys.
my
Antoine
goodness.
Burdines in the beautiful state of South Carolina,
Yep.
Charleston, to
Yep.
be exact.
I mean, look at that. Like these guys were just there. I know he's not continuing playing football, but Parker Dubon started Auburn University classes as a freshman 2 days ago. So shout out to our guy Parker Dubon. Honestly. So
Shout
yeah,
out to Parker Devon.
yeah,
One of
man,
my favorite players. Like,
love that kid.
you know what? He was one of like my favorite players to interview too.
I was.
Um,
He was so calm and cool, like he had been doing. Like it's like you're a quarterback. You definitely know what to say. You're a very smart young man, and you know how to articulate. And
I
and I'll
mean, the
tell
guy
you
that
one
had
thing.
ups and downs, but more ups than downs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to be a part of championship winning teams, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get thrust into that position, and
Mm-hmm. And
you
made
know,
and made a throw that got robbed. I mean, he made the throw,
made the
getting
throw,
nailed, and
made
a
the throw.
referee stole that moment from him. That should have been his dance to Horde moment. You know how Dance hit the Horde with the
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
long pass to win the Bearden game? His pass to Antoine should have been his moment as a West Rebel to solidify, because I know Lamar would have gone for two. Tavion or Messiah go in. We win by one in double overtime because we went for two, and we're playing Oak Ridge the next week with a chance to play Page 3 years in a row and go for a third straight state title. But a referee took that away from this team.
Yeah, man.
So
I'm so glad we have a great faculty.
we do.
You know what I mean? Like, because you know, I don't know if I could have been as cool as Paul Romero about that.
The
Like,
best. Yeah,
as an athletic director, like I take that video to TSAA, and
I know.
with him being seasoned as a referee,
Hmm.
what I'm saying, just for him not to even, show like true character of not even acknowledging that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
I never heard him say a word about
No, no, he had to be very he had to be very, very even keel about it. I respect it, and shout out to Dr. Spee. She shook my hand at the jamboree the other night. It was a great jamboree, and it was nice to see Dr. Spees, and she was there with Rob and both Spees. They were there
it.
obviously supporting their schools, and but yeah, I love our administration, Mr. Carruthers, everybody that's involved. If Forrester's still there, I believe.
Principal Forrester,
Yep,
yes,
yep,
Principal
love
Forrester.
her. So yeah, I mean everybody's done great, and I'll tell you this too, Pair. I'm going to go out on a limb and say something. I could be wrong, because Lord knows I've been wrong in the past. But I'm going to tell you this: that picture behind you for Coach of the Year, I think it'd look really nice with a certain new coach for West named Baron Chandler. How cool would that be that
That
he
would
gets
be.
Coach of the Year, baby? And I could
I
see it
mean,
definitely happening.
he's
So
got an uphill. Like,
I
this
think
is
he.
probably one of the toughest. Well, I'm not gonna say toughest job. It's just the time of which he got the job.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Catholic was a very humbling experience
Hmm.
to watch.
Yeah.
You've got footage of what went out on Farragut with the Jamboree at Farragut. I didn't get to see it, but from
Yeah.
what you said, I just
They.
really think it's going to be tough. That's going to be a very
Yeah, I
tough
mean,
job.
let me tell you something. The way they came out against Farragut, it was business two pair. So whatever the Catholic game did, it got them focused. And I will say that. I mean, the starters played a combined 10 plays on both sides of the ball.
Oh wow,
The offense scored in 6 plays. It ended with a Raheem Lee 5-yard touchdown run.
I'm a big
Messiah,
Raheem Lee fan.
Oh yeah, Messiah Wren was doing his thing. Big Country had a nice big catch from our guy Jack Harrison and rumbled down the sidelines. And I don't know if Morgan Farrell knows this, but I have given you the nickname Big Country, whether you like it or not, and so forth. Because when
He
you
is
ran
big
over that
country.
Jefferson County defender, and then he even like ran over that Farragut guy, he was like, "Come get some."
He is
Honestly,
big
Big
country. That
Country.
is his
So
name. His name
yeah.
is Big
Yeah,
Country now.
yeah, but and I'll tell you this, and then I know we didn't have JP Peace against Catholic. Let me tell you something, man. He was back for the Farragut game. He bats down a pass and was like, "Psh, "You ain't throwing that in my vicinity." He covered that perfectly from his linebacker spot. Got Farragut to go. Farragut got one first down, 16 yards on the first play. They were 3-and-out after that, and then at that point, West put in their backups. But some of the backups out to me. Whiteer did really well. We finally have a roster, so I have a roster. I've got
All
names, and
right.
I'll definitely get that to you,
Thank
so you
God for
have
the
that
roster.
as well. So we can do the stats on Saturday. Shout out to Chris Smith. But honestly, it's just it's going to be a fabulous experience, and I hate that you're not going to be able to be there
I
with
know,
me
man.
physically at West. But I sent you the link. I hope you pop in on your cell phone. I don't know if you'll be in the car driving, or somebody will be driving you, or you'll already be in Nashville. But I hope you jump on there between 9 and 10, even for 5 minutes on Saturday when
Well,
we go live. So yeah,
the
for
only
sure.
thing is, I'm actually getting down to Nashville Friday night.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I got a big music conference. Just a lineup of people.
Oh,
DJ EXO, Trillville, Trap Dicky, Coalition DJs, Sunday night, August the 24th. Then check this out. Saturday we've got the pool party kickback. Then after that we've got the top golf, and I'm a top golfer.
yeah, you are.
I'm a top golfer.
That's
So we've
awesome.
got that. So it's a whole weekend of fun and festivities, and a huge concert, seeing some really up and coming talent in the Tennessee area. But Trillville, I mean, is bringing it back to the college days. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Trillville was our era. You know what I'm saying? Us in college was
Yeah.
we're playing that. Get on my level. You know what I'm saying? Great
Yeah.
football anthems. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you this. Like I said, if I don't know, if nine, actually, there you're right. You're going to be an hour behind us, so it would be between 8 and 9. But even if you could
Hmm.
jump on for 5 minutes or whatever, and give a shout out, that would be awesome. We'd love
Man,
to
I
have you.
love to.
So
I need to
yeah.
get. I will try to.
Yeah. Well, Tuber, let's talk about it. So here's the thing that I wanted to kind of get into. So it's high school football's back, week 0. To
Oh, we
quote
got
Bill
Curry
Collins,
backstage.
what now?
We got Curry backstage.
Nope. Carrie's not. I don't know where Carrie's at
You
tonight.
know what? I
I
think he might have hit the other link.
You think
There
so?
might have been two links
There might have been
that were
two links.
sent.
He
Tell him
hasn't.
to hit the first link.
Yeah, hit the first link, Carrie. If
Yeah, you
you,
might have to hit him on Facebook.
yeah, let me see here because I haven't heard from him
Mm-hmm.
about it, but because I would have loved to have him on and so forth because I did send it to him. But maybe he got tied up with something else right now and everything. But that being said, it's week 0, and before let me see here real quick.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Let me see here. Yeah, because I'm surprised you didn't say anything in the chat box. But that being said, before you jumped on two pair, I have
Mm-hmm.
never seen such a lineup before of of games. I mean, honestly, I mean, like check this lineup up. I
It's
mean,
a sick lineup
it's a
from
sick
what
lineup, and
I've
here's the
seen.
thing: it's a lot of them are on TV. And I mean, that's just
Mm-hmm.
talking about the media exposure. I mean, think about this appetizer. On Thursday night, tomorrow night, you got Halls at Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is now a
Yeah.
6A school. You know what I
Oak
mean?
Ridge
Type
is a
of a
six
thing.
A school.
They're a 6A school. So, yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Hey, fellas, just got home from my games. Rough night for the Beavers. They were playing the middle school Rebels, weren't they, Shane? So,
Oh,
oh man, shout out to our guy, the coach. He had to do double duty tonight and so forth. So that's why he couldn't be on tonight. So shout out to him and prayers always for you, brother. Honestly,
yes, sir.
if you can jump on, that'd be great. But if not, so let me see here. Uh, uh,
Hold your head, Shane.
yeah, always, always, man. Yeah, Carrie's coming on and so forth. But what I did want to say um, is. Um, is going back to this slate of games. I mean, you got
Hmm.
Halls at Oak Ridge tomorrow night. Then think about this, man. You got a choice on Friday night. Are you going to watch Rivalry Friday with Anderson County at Powell, two top contenders in 4A and 5A, with a rivalry that has started the season off the last couple of years? Or are you going to watch the Russell Bivin game of the week with old Coach Rogers and him, and you're going to catch Maryville at Alcoa? Maryville takes the
Maryville
ride over
Alcoa.
to Pistol Creek. So that's what's going on Friday
Maryville
night between
Alcoa
those
might
two
be the
games.
game.
Those are your two TV games, and why I'm invested in it is three of those four teams West is playing this year,
Yeah.
honestly. So I mean, right away. Um,
I like the fact
Saturday.
that West plays. You got to look at the teams West plays.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that in a second.
They
Oh,
they play
absolutely. So.
we play some guys like
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
we don't play like a soft schedule. Like
Hey,
all those teams
Coach
are gonna
says
be playing.
Maryville Alcoa all day to watch compared to Powell versus Anderson County. By the way, that's
Wow.
what he said. So yeah. I've got to DVR both games. I'm going to DVR both games because I definitely want to see. Got to scout the enemy, so to speak, for sure. And then at the same time as Bearden West Saturday at 7 o'clock, Farragut and Sevier County are getting it on at
Farragut is
Carson
Sevier
Newman
County.
and Sevier County. They're the defending state champs technically in 5A. So, yeah.
Yeah, they are the defending state champs. Who um, I look at their season though last year, and I feel like one or two plays that's a different outcome.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Yep.
and one thing I never understood when I watched that West Sevier County game, and I know it's you know what I'm saying, it's water under a bridge now, but you look
Still,
at
you
the
can
way
talk about it.
you look at the way we ran the ball that year,
Hmm.
it just felt like we didn't give enough to running the ball in that circumstance. But hey, like I said, um, it was such a long time ago. Like I can just remember we've seen a lot of games at West, a ton, to where that's one of them games that will always stick out to me. And now I'm looking at this season. It's like I hope we don't have a game in that type of magnitude where we can't leave it on the field.
Or leave it up to the refs. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
leave it
for
up to the
sure.
ref.
Speaking of leaving it up to the refs, man, I'll tell you one thing. Big Game carries backstage. I know he's got a lot to talk about when it comes to this high school football season and this slate of games for week 0. So bring him on. He's a new member of the crew. Give him a warm welcome from Rebels with a Cause, the one, the only Big Game Kerry Reeves. How you doing, baby?
What's going on, fellas? How's
Big
everybody tonight?
game,
How's
Kerry
everybody
Reed.
doing?
Oh, it's going good,
Big
man.
Sorry
game,
I'm
Kerry
late. I
Reed.
was on the link for Saturday's
For
game
Saturday. So you're ready.
That's
instead of
good.
this one.
You know what? I can forgive you for that because let me tell you something. I know physically my ass is here for this show, but I'm already there with you on Saturday at West High School in the morning, by the way. I'm
See,
already there. So that's,
I knew that's what it was. I was like, I think I'm on a different link.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I said, I think
I
I'm on a different
figured
link.
that out when I was looking. I'm like, oh,
No,
he
you're
sent me 2
good.
links.
I feel bad. I'm sorry you didn't text me or whatever because I was like, it's not like you to not be on and so forth because you're always on before
I
I am and so
realized it when
forth.
I hit the
So
first link.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I
yeah.
hit it and I went, oh, I was on the wrong one.
That's
Yeah.
my bad for getting overzealous and hyping up the show. But Carrie, just in case you hadn't seen, can you believe that we are up to 95 subscribers? We're 5 away from 100.
Let's get
Over
that
Crazy.
5, baby. Let's get
10,000
that
Crazy.
views.
5. Let's
I'm
get that
telling you.
crazy.
5, man.
Yeah.
That is
I want
fantastic.
some freshmen. I want some freshmen on the football team subscribing to this show or whatever.
We
We
need
might
to
be
give it
talking
to
about
'em.
you. So I
We need to
mean,
give it to
shoot.
'em.
So
We need to
yeah.
give it to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, this
Exactly, man.
slate of games, though, guys. I mean, I have never seen such an unbelievable first week of the week zero games. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and I hate to call it week zero because it's nothing like that. But now that they've built in a bye week and it's not 10
Yeah,
straight weeks of football, it is technically week zero.
Mm-hmm.
it is week
Because a
zero.
lot of the teams take off for that fall break. Knox County's usually that second week of October, and a lot of the teams take that week to be the bye week or what have you. But realistically, though, man, I mean, it's here, and in less than 24
Mhm.
hours, we will know who has won between Halls and Oak Ridge. And, guys, Halls is considered a team that has kind of been in that next tier underneath Powell and West in that region, and they feel that they have enough in the tank this year and what they've brought back with their quarterback, Mary Lethgo,
Mm-hmm.
that they're right there for the picking. And
Mhm.
they actually have both Powell and West coming to Halls this year.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
they've got that home field advantage. Could they be a team that strikes up there? But here's the thing with Halls. They've got an incredible schedule. I mean, they start off with Oak Ridge, and then they've got Catholic in a
Oof.
couple of
Uh-huh.
weeks,
They don't
and
want
they've
to see
not played
Catholic.
since 1956.
Yep.
So
Dang.
I'm just saying that right there is going to be really a battle of test for a team like Halls. And then you've got Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is making the move from 5A to 6A. This is
Mm-hmm.
now the third year with Derek Rang at the helm.
Yep.
They've got a great running back. They bring back a lot of starters on both sides of the ball in the trenches. And to win in 6A football, you got to be good up front. Not
Mm-hmm.
just skilled
Exactly.
players. You got to be
That's
good up
right.
front. And so my question to you guys is that game really can springboard a team that needs every win they can get in any type of momentum, but also not have any major injuries, especially when you have so much to play for. What are your thoughts on that game? I'll put it up here right now. Halls at Oak Ridge.
That is a springboard game. We have what you guys probably been discussing. We've got a lot of springboard games. A lot of
Mhm.
springboard
Mhm.
games.
You do.
This is a big one to start this. This is the game in the state. The first game in the state of Tennessee is
Yeah.
this game. This is big because either one of these teams, you talked about Halls with the major games at home. If you could steal this at Oak Ridge, you're setting yourself up for a very nice season. You've got a signature road win. You would have a signature road win in your pocket before you play Powell, Hall at West, Anderson County, those guys. You've got signet. This is a big day for Halls. If Halls could get this win, and think of the bragging rights. Can you imagine the bragging rights if Halls were to go to Oak Ridge and
Oh
beat
man.
Yeah.
They won't hear the end of the
You'll
story.
never
They will
hear
never
the
hear
end
it.
of it.
No, and
Never
it's a
will.
good win to springboard, like you said. And then, you talk about the Friday games. Shane McGee has spoken, but he said it's no contest. I mean, think about this. This is what you have to choose from. You don't even have to leave your house
Yep.
because I'm sure it'll be a hard ticket to get anyway in there. And so you can avoid the traffic. You can just order the pizza and just sit back and watch. You got Rivalry Friday with Packers Crew watching Anderson County at Powell. And
Mhm.
then Russell Biven and Tony Rogers covering Maryville Alcoa or what have
Mhm.
you.
Can't beat
Maryville
it.
takes Blount County shuts down to see Maryville take on Alcoa over there in Pistol Creek. I mean, obviously, we have a vested interest in both games because those are three of West's opponents, and especially when you've got Maryville next week and at Maryville, and then you have Halls coming to Marble City 2 weeks after that. That's also good. That game's going to be on TV.
I've
So,
never seen a skit in all the years of high school football. I have never seen an opening month that this schedule has put. We got games all over the place. These
we
are
do.
Yeah.
games in October. These are October
October
like
game.
games that are being played in August and the beginning of September.
Oh no.
Your playoff races, a lot of tiebreakers are going to be decided in these first 3 to 4 weeks.
And
Yep.
You
that's the
got to win.
beauty of it. The
Yep.
beauty of it.
Beauty of it. You got to win these games. You got to win these games because you never know when that tiebreaker at the end of the season, between difference between a home game
Yep.
and you being on the road is in these
Mhm.
early games. You got to take care of it. If you're a home team, more importantly this year, I think than ever before, you've got to take care of home. If you don't take
Absolutely.
care of home, you're not going to be at home come November and December.
That
Right.
is Perfectly damn said right there. Shane said that Russell and Tony got the better game to call. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you
That's
this.
gonna
I
be
mean, if you
amazing.
think about it,
That
Maryville
is going to be a
Alcoa
big game.
12 years ago was an ESPN showcase game. And I was even talking about that at the
Hmm.
beginning of the show. I mean, think about the matchups you've got this weekend. I mean, you're going to see teams like Martyr Day, Bishop Gorman, IMG, Chaminade Madonna, American Heritage, John
Yep.
Bosco, St. Thomas Aquinas. That's the who's who of national high school football teams. And they are vying for that mythical
Highland
national
Park in
championship.
Dallas.
Thank you.
Highland
Hmm.
Park in
I
Dallas.
mean, those are
Hmm.
the teams that you know about. You know what I mean, type of a thing, and they're going to be showcased throughout the weekend. I mean, I love it. I love it. I know it's week 0 in college football with a couple of teams playing that are somewhat known, but facts are facts. This is the high school weekend, and that's why we're taking this whole show to talk about the local stuff, obviously. But that's what's being said. Talking about Anderson County and Powell, and I'd like your guys' thoughts on
Woo.
this. Think about Anderson County. They have been the creme de
Anderson
la
County.
creme of
How?
4A. Powell, they have, it's been 3 years since Walter Nolan was there, but they feel they have a team this year that can win a state championship with Deuce Rogers back in his senior year. This is his third year as a starter at quarterback. He's looked good in the preseason. I mean, they played Hardin Valley, guys, and on one play went 70 yards and scored a touchdown. And that's all Matt Lowe had to see from his Powell Panthers and,
Mm.
sat those
Yep.
guys on the bench and played as backups. So, but here's the thing. Powell feels they let one off the hook last year against Anderson
Hmm.
County. Of course, that was all due to the fact that their running back, who had gotten thrown out of the West game for the cheap shot on Anderson Smith, he had to sit out the game.
Mhm.
Anderson County jumped on him. Powell tried to come back, but there just wasn't enough in there. Anderson County got the win. Now you've got Anderson County that looks completely different. They've added Jason Thompson, who was running the last year that we're very familiar with.
Yep.
They've got a great quarterback at the helm. And so they've got some dudes, and they knew that they needed some dudes at Anderson County because there's a school on the other network that is no longer 3A that's coming in on their territory in
Hmm.
4A, and that's the Alcoa Tornadoes.
And you want to talk
So,
about a game up in the future? Ooh, boy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and can I tell you this, Kerry? Here's the spoiler. The last weekend or the last week of high school football, Halloween, on October 30th, the rivalry Thursday game is West against Powell, which has
Ooh.
traditionally in the past been for the region. Central and Halls might have something to say about that
Hmm.
this year, but traditionally that's where that game has been positioned,
Get a
and
ticket.
and that's it.
Man,
Do you
get
know
a
what you
ticket for
got
that
the
one.
next night?
Get a
The
ticket.
next night on Rivalry Friday, you've got Anderson County at Alcoa for probably the 4A region
Get
championship.
a
That
ticket.
sounds.
Get a ticket.
It
That's
sounds
your
like a good
last
game.
week of games on Halloween, man. Halloween on a Friday night. Can you imagine? So, yeah.
14 years ago, I worked an Anderson County Powell game for an opener. I knew it was going to be electric, feeling that the crowd. I mean, there was no place to sit, no place. It seemed like Anderson County and that half of Knox County closed down. Anderson County got out to a 28-0 lead in the middle of the second quarter, lost in double overtime, 49-48, in one of the most offensively greatest high school football games. There were no turnovers, one punt.
Wow.
One
Let me
punt
ask you this:
between both teams.
was that when Fox was there at Anderson County running the ball?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fox. Yep.
The
What
Fox.
does the Fox say? So,
Yep.
yep, absolutely. So,
Oh, yeah. I think he had over almost 250 all-purpose yards in that game alone and a
Yep,
couple of touchdowns.
that
He
was a
was
hell of an
amazing.
Anderson County team because West had to play them in the third round that year,
Yep.
and Nathan Cottrell and the group got
They
through a
shut him
very
down.
physical game. Yeah,
That was
and
a good football game.
yeah, lost Alex Birch unfortunately to a broken leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a tough game. We could have used him in that state championship against Henry County.
But the games, these games that are right there in these first few weeks, and then like you said at the end, man,
yeah,
I don't think you couldn't have scripted this. There is no way you could have scripted any of this, especially the beginning and the end is so pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then look at this. And then just talking about this weekend, you've got the defending 5A state champs, Sevier County, taking on Farragut at Carson Newman at the same time as the Bearden West game. And so that's dessert Saturday. I mean, you got the appetizer.
Who's the home team? Who's the home team?
So here's the story, and I'm not trying to troll Coach Giles. I love me some Mark Giles because I kidded him with it. I said, wait a minute. So you're telling me this is supposed to be a Farragut home game, but you all are playing this in Jefferson County and Carson Newman? That's virtually a home game for damn Sevier County, and I guarantee they ain't going to give up the gate next year when you do the return trip out there. So you should have made them people drive on a Saturday from Sevier County to Farragut. I'm sorry. So shoot, you lost out on the gate on that. So Farragut only has 4 home games in their beautiful stadium. By the way, they only have 4 home games.
In that stadium.
Yeah, because this is considered
nice, man.
Yeah, because this Carson Newman game, Farragut will be in their home jerseys. Sevier County's the road team, but logistically, this is like a damn Sevier County home game, in my opinion. So just saying. So
at least it's being played in this county, in this country.
Yeah.
Like the game on Saturday in college, you got a Big 12 game between the 2 top teams in the Big 12, Iowa State and Kansas State, and they're playing in Ireland. The Big 12 title could be decided in Ireland.
In Ireland, not even in there. I mean,
not even. And Kansas State, they got paid $3.5 million to move this game from Manhattan, Kansas, to Dublin, Ireland,
and playing week 0 of college football.
Playing week 0.
Wow. So well, to each his own. So, I guess that game will be early that day.
Yeah, I think it's a noon game on ESPN
because of the time difference. It'll be almost night over there in Ireland or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a 5-6 hour difference.
5-6 hour difference. So yeah, you're right. So let me ask you this too, Pair. You've got these sexy matchups. This first week we'll predict those games, but let me just ask you this. Let's talk about some of these top games that are going to be on for most of the year. I mean, these are the most games that have ever been on TV. Let me read you some of these games, and you just tell me what really stands out to you guys, because I know what stands out to me. We've already mentioned Halls and Oak Ridge and Anderson County and Powell. Think about next week's games. You got Catholic at Anderson County. Okay? Catholic at Anderson County. On Friday night, we've seen Jefferson County, 2-pair. They play at Sevier County. That's the Friday night game.
Spencer Riley and them boys, they don't play.
Goodness.
They don't play, man.
Now, speaking of the jockeying of the position of the region for 5A, you've got Halls at Powell, the Battle of Emery Road. Yep. So, excuse me, I was wrong. Halls is actually traveling to Powell. Powell doesn't go to Halls this year. So Halls is traveling to Powell in the Battle of Emery Road for the Thursday night game that's on TV. And on Friday night, West travels to Central to take on Kevin Lane and his boys over there, up there in Fountain City. So from Marble City to Fountain City. And, those teams are, considered the 4 that are probably going to get the playoff spots in that region. And realistically, this right now, that week, is going to jockey of who is in what position at that point, So that's something to keep an eye on. Then Thursday, West has a short week after that battle with Central. We're hosting Alcoa coming to us on Rivalry Thursday night. And then Friday, what about these 2 names? I mean, guys, when you hear these 2 names, this is royalty. I know that they haven't won a state championship, either of them, in a long time. But for a while there, it was one of these 2 that used to represent the highest classification back in the day. You got Dobbins-Bennett coming to Oak Ridge.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's a Friday night game on September 12th. So,
I did a lot of Dobbins-Bennett games when they came to Bearden and when they came to Farragut.
And they'd always beat the crap out of Bearden and Farragut back then,
but now both of them have gotten an advantage, over them. But I'll tell you what, Dobbins-Bennett, I remember one time them coming off the bus. My dear God, I think the smallest guy at one point was 5'11", 250. These are some corn-fed boys.
And they probably took 3 buses because there was 100 guys on the damn team. Yeah,
they
4
took
buses.
4.
Yeah, I remember them Dobbins-Bennett teams. I remember
my
them.
God.
So, yeah, but you got that one. Then, are you ready for this one? The next week, you've got Webb at Grace Christian, a very good private school battle right there on the September 18th Thursday game.
That's gonna be a good
On
game.
Friday night, here's another rivalry.
Mhm.
Harriman at Rockwood. I mean, maybe not the
Ooh,
sexiest of
just
like the names of
the
royalty, but
fan
that
like
man, they shut the towns down
they'll
for
shut the
that one,
towns down
man.
for that one. Yeah,
Shoot.
Rockwood
Another
and
one they shut the
Harriman.
town down for is Lenore City and Loudon, the Battle of the
Yes.
Bridge. That's usually week 2.
Yep.
And that's not
Yep.
on TV this year, but they
That's not
shut
on
down
TV.
Loudoun County for that game.
Yep, yep. And then think about the following week. Thursday, September 25th, you've got Greenville, traditional Greenville, who's always in the conversation for 4A,
Yes, they
going
are.
to Sevier County to play. So
That's going to be a war.
Sevier County definitely beefed up their schedule because they knew that they need to have better competition, you know. And then the next night on Friday the 26th, you got Farragut at Bearden, baby.
Yep.
Farragut at Bearden. Throw out the records. It's going to be a great one.
It's going to be a fight.
Throw
The
away the
following
records when
week,
they need.
Yep.
the
throw them
following
away.
week, you've got William Blunt at Heritage, the other battle for Blunt County. The
Throw out
public,
the records when they play each other, because
when
that's
they
a battle too.
The next night, Fulton at Carter, which has become a very, very
Yep.
good matchup. And realistically, you're talking about potentially the 3 or 4 seed. Gibbs will probably have something to say as well, behind Alcoa and Anderson County. So you're looking at 3
Agreed.
or 4 with that Fulton Carter game. Then Thursday, October 9th, you know what I call this game? Because it is 2 talented teams. It's basically like, hey, the winner of this doesn't have to worry about Alcoa in the playoffs anymore. You got Gatlinburg Pittman traveling to Austin East, baby.
Ooh.
So, you know,
Oh my.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's a Thursday night game.
And you're talking
Friday
about
night,
and you're talking about 2 teams that may have been the biggest winners from Alcoa leaving 3A and going into 4A. They may be the biggest winners.
No doubt, because their seasons typically ended when they played
Alcoa,
whether it was week 2 or week 3 or what have you. And then Sevier County, like West, has a lot of games on TV, and props to them for doing that.
State champion,
that's the perks of when you're a state champion. You got a great quarterback. Grace Christian goes to take on at Sevier County Friday, October 10th.
That's going to be a tough one.
The next week, you got Central at Halls in the Battle of Black Ridge. We talk about how where is Central and Halls. That could be 2nd seed, 3rd seed, 4th seed, maybe even the 1 seed if the stars align for those teams.
And they hate each other's guts.
They do.
They do.
They
the
really
Battle
do.
Of Black
they don't
Ridge.
like each other.
That is hatred personified.
Then Grace is on TV again at CAK, which is another private school matchup. It's on TV. Then, as I mentioned, Oak Ridge at Farragut, which is a traditional battle.
That's a battle.
That's on a Thursday night. Then you got Heritage at Gibbs, which actually, now that Heritage has moved down, that they're jockeying for position to see if they get a playoff spot between Heritage and Gibbs in that 4A. And then, as I said before, we're not even to the playoffs yet. The last week, Powell at West, and then Alcoa at Anderson County. I couldn't think of a bad matchup of I mean, those are some really unbelievable matchups this year. Credit to Mark Packer, Austin Price, and Rivalry Thursday, everybody involved with that, all the sponsors, OEB Law, all of those guys, to make that happen for 2 nights of football, to get you excited up until the playoffs, and then those 2 nights continue into the playoffs or what have you, which is all the way up to the state championship. So you'll get your full fill of great high school football matchups this year, in my opinion.
And we're not even including what the football is going to be like in Central Tennessee and West Tennessee. This is just a hotbed right here, man.
Correct. And and when you see those matchups, guys, Russell Bivin and Tony Rogers and that group, they're doing some good things too. They're starting it off with Marvel Alcoa. So that they're going to have a game that maybe isn't one of those that will just be just as important. Maybe they do get a Loudon versus Lenore City on TV. You never know. Maybe that's a game that they get on. You just never know. And
apparently WATE is going to do like a red zone on Friday nights on a digital channel. What they're going to do is like a red zone. We're going to have highlights from every high school game in East Tennessee.
That's dope.
Something like that. Yeah, I saw a commercial for that today. I'm like, if they could pull that off, that would be amazing.
How special is that they're even talking about a red zone for high school football? Do you kids know what you got right now? It was just
Exactly.
Jerome Taylor and community television, two bear.
Inside perspective,
Look at
man.
this, man. Look at what they're
Look,
getting.
that's
Maybe
why
Jim
we
Wogan might
started.
say
Yep.
your name on Friday Night Hits. Remember that one guy they used to have, Don't Get Lost in the Sauce or whatever like that? They used to
Man,
have that
Don't
dude.
get
So
lost in the sauce.
Jim
Jim
Wogan, Friday
Wogan,
Night
Mark
Hits,
Nagy.
man.
So yeah, for sure.
Heck, back in my day, years ago, you only had one game a week, and that was college and pro. You had one game a week, 2 games a week pro, and now you see in football all over the place, which is
All
a
over the
beautiful
place,
thing.
man. It is a
Beautiful
beautiful
thing.
thing. And it's been such a long off season, So let's talk about this
Yeah,
because
man.
we obviously focus more on the 4A, 5A, and 6A contenders. We could talk a little 3A because obviously, Gatlinburg, Pittman, and Austin East are going to be in that conversation.
Hmm.
But my question to you guys is, let's talk about the 4A, 5A, 6A contenders. You know the names, but let's just say them for the sake of the show and for those that maybe aren't well schooled with these names if you've been living under a rock or if you're fans of the show that don't live in this state. But realistically, Alcoa has made that move to 4A. Is
Hmm.
this a foregone conclusion that they're just going to run through it? Or does Anderson County or Greenville or maybe one of those teams that you mentioned that we don't really know much about, Big Game Carry, in Middle and West Tennessee, are they going to stand in their way that where maybe 3A traditionally didn't stand a chance against an
I
Alcoa?
think Alcoa's gonna do, what they normally do, but it's gonna be a little tougher. I want to see an Alcoa Greenville matchup because Greenville
Ooh.
is tough. They're dangerous and tough. Them and Alcoa get together. Oh, that's gonna be nothing. That's gonna be hard hitting, bruising, fun.
And remember, they were on the schedule a couple years
Hmm.
ago, but the weather stopped that game,
Weather
and
stopped that game.
and we never got a clear winner, unfortunately. So, but yeah, but that being said, that could be a potential matchup. I mean, obviously Anderson County and Alcoa at the end of the year, but I guess my question is that if Alcoa does get by Maryville tomorrow or Friday night, and then of course gets by West. There's really not much on their regular season
Hmm.
schedule, with the exception of the Anderson County game at the end, that they have a very good shot to go undefeated, in my opinion. So,
They
Yeah.
do. It just looking at the way their schedule plays out, they got a
Hmm.
good chance.
yeah. And they
They
got
got
that
a
Maryville
solid
game at
chance.
home. I mean, that helps when you've got
That
Maryville at
helps.
home. Maybe the lights go out like they did against Bearden a couple of years ago to help them win.
Hey, they have a chance to be one of the probably the greatest program in East Tennessee. If you leave after all the dominant in 3A, you come to 4A your first year, and you win a state title, forget it.
You're
Forget
right.
it.
Yep, you're
They're
right.
the they're the program. That's a standard bearer right now. What Maryville used to be, Alcoa is becoming.
Exactly. What up to Larry Frank popping
Larry
in down from
Frank.
the Bayou, our favorite Cajun, to support the cause. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I called this NFL show. You definitely, Carrie, should call into that You Talk show. They had an NFL thing. You could talk about your Bills, honestly, man. So it's an NFL show on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 on the You Talk channel. If you haven't
Okay,
subscribed to it, so I'll send you a link.
send me a link for
I
that.
will send you a link for sure so you can subscribe. They can always use another subscriber for
Oh,
sure.
heck yeah.
So, yeah. Coach Shane says Alcoa has proven they can
Yep,
play with anyone.
they have.
They sure
They
can.
sure
They
have.
sure have. So no. And I'll tell you this, I'm excited to see, both both of their studs last year moved on.
Hmm.
Obviously, the Eli's both moved on. Graf and Warren. And
And
so my
Warren,
question
yeah.
is this. My question is, now it's Condish Cherry's team at tailback.
Hmm. Yep.
Jameer Dean at wide receiver, who everybody really knows
Mm,
about basketball, but he can play some football.
basketball.
Oh, but he could
He
play
can't
some
play
football.
football.
He could play some
The
football.
quarterback for Alcoa used to be at Maryville, and he came in at the same time as Maryville's starting quarterback. I mean, can you imagine two freshmen came in? He just didn't want to sit behind Will Jones, and now
And I
he is
and I know
Alcoa's
and I
quarterback.
know Will. I know Will and his family. Will's a hell of a player,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Hell
and
of a
Will's
player.
going into his junior year. He's been starting since he was a freshman at
Yep.
Maryville.
Hmm.
So now he's about to take that next step for Maryville. But
Oh yeah.
what I think is so special is you had two guys that went to Maryville as freshmen, both talented. Will just got the upper leg, and now this guy's at Alcoa. and he almost has like a chip on his shoulder,
Oh yeah.
I mean, for that game
Mm.
tomorrow night. But that being said, that's 4A, obviously. Now let's go to 5A. 5A, where does Page go? Page has really had lost 4 straight state championships. They lost 3 guys to Division I schools in the offseason. I'm sure Coach Rathbone has reloaded with another group of people. But my question is Page going to get there again to lose for a 5th time? Because I really don't want to be disrespectful, but it seems like 5A in East Tennessee has been run by the Powells, the Wests, the Sevier County,
Yep.
Central for a time there. Oak
Central,
Ridge had a
what,
couple
two
of good
times?
teams during that time.
Central got what, 2 titles,
2
didn't
times.
Yeah,
Yep.
Central when Rozier was here,
Mhm.
and now
they?
Coach Lane. Shout out to our guy Coach Lane. He's a fan of the show, and a good friend of
Yep.
mine.
Kevin's good. Kevin's a good guy.
He's got Central right back in the thick of
Yes,
things,
he
baby.
does.
I know,
I'm
knew
not
he
surprised.
would.
I knew he would.
Mm.
That's not a surprise to me. Kevin's always been a talented coach, and it's nice to see him, the fruition of everything come to. And Central's going to be dangerous, man.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, and they're big. They're hungry. They
Mm-hmm.
know that they've been disrespected in the
Does
past,
West play
and
at Central? West plays at Central, right?
yeah, and that's
Um,
going to be week 3. And
We're
two
gonna have
pair,
to go
and,
there. I'm
and
gonna have to go there.
And I'm going to tell you this. I've been watching a lot of our old episodes from last year, and it's scary how predicted we were about certain things. Two pair last year had said that don't sleep on Central. That's going to be a tough game coming off of the Maryville
Mm-hmm.
game, and we were down at halftime. That was supposed to be a
Yeah.
celebration honoring the 2014 team, and West had to do everything they could in that second half to get back in it because
It's easy. It was
Central had
easy to have a
outplayed them in that
letdown.
first half.
After you beat a team like Maryville last year, it's easy to come back and have a letdown against a good Central team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maryville was on a revenge tour last year, though.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were. Yeah, Maryville was on a revenge tour and really gave it to West. And I think that game kind of shell shocked West a little bit. That West
Mm-hmm.
came out against Central a little
Yep.
lackadaisical, but West came back in the second half. I just hope that because of that performance of Central and how Central has shown the improvement in what they've got this year, West doesn't take them lightly when we get to that game in a couple weeks. Again, coming off of a game against Maryville, win or lose, you know what I mean,
Yep.
type of thing. So that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye out. But as far as 5A goes, I mean, you got Beach out there in West
Yep.
Tennessee. Henry County has kind of fallen off a little bit, but you've got to say the name because it's Henry County. But
Exactly.
realistically, I really feel that somebody from this side of the state for 5A is going to be in that conversation, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
Powell, whether it's West, whether it's Sevier County going for their back-to-back, and then Halls and Central definitely will have a say in the mix. So
Mhm.
McMinn County has been traditionally a team. You can't say Oak Ridge this year because they've moved to 6A, but what are you guys thinking in terms of a 5A contender right now, without knowing the unknowns at this point?
I really like what Sevier County brought to the table offensively, but I feel
Mhm.
like they lost a lot of guys too.
Hmm. They do have the quarterback back. I mean,
They
that
do
guy
have a
was phenomenal.
quarterback.
46 touchdowns, 2 interceptions all year.
And
So
they're
But
always well coached. They are always well
yeah,
coached. They very rarely make minimum. They make minimal mistakes. They rarely beat themselves. You've got to
mhm.
go beat them.
And shout out to Kat Chate's dad. Kat's a fan of the show. Her dad is the defensive coordinator over there at Sevier County, so
Mhm.
his defenses are always going to be prepared,
Yep.
ready to go. So I mean,
I
you
just
got
think East Tennessee once again will probably run 5A one more time because you got any of these contenders, Powell, West, Sevier County, Hall, Central. If they get
Yeah.
on a roll, this may be the best side of 5A in this 5A in the state is unbelievable.
I think it's the most competitive because you've had a different champion for the most part.
Mhm.
I mean, Oakland's ran things over there in 6A for a bit.
Oh
Alcoa's ran
gosh.
things in 3A. 4A and 5A, I've always felt you've had a different champion or somebody that's been in the mix, so that's one thing. As far as 6A goes, Maryville, I think, they feel that they're very close to that finally getting over that hump.
That
That is
Oakland hump.
Murfreesboro, Oakland.
Yep, that
And,
Oakland hump.
the Patriots. I mean, they've been the creme de la creme. I mean, they did lose a couple of years ago, but they went back to their winning ways and got a state championship
It's a
last year.
beautiful campus over there too, man.
Oh, it is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like a college camp. It feels like it's like little MTSU.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of another Murfreesboro school, traditionally Riverdale was the hit
Riverdale.
program.
Yep.
And
Riverdale
Riverdale
is such a
lost
good
a
program.
lot this past off
Riverdale's
season.
legendary.
And Catholic goes there week 2 to play Murfreesboro
It's
Riverdale.
gonna be a tough place to win.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tomahawk
it's gonna be a
Stadium.
battle.
Tomahawk Stadium
Tough
over
place
there.
to win.
So they're
Mhm.
the Warriors of Riverdale. But as far as 6A goes, I mean, I think Maryville's got as great of a shot as any. Ravenwood out there in
I
Middle
agree.
Tennessee, they're a big favorite. That some people feel they let one off the hook last year. Then you've
Mhm.
got Whitehaven, traditionally a great school out of Memphis and West Tennessee.
Yep.
They're going to be in the mix also. So don't sleep on them. But where does Oak Ridge fit? Is Oak Ridge? Do they? I mean, they fell short against Sevier County, got to the state semifinals last year in 5A. Now it's a whole new ball game in 6A. I mean, where does Oak Ridge fit in the conversation at this point? You
I
think?
think they can make some noise though.
I can too.
I think they can make some noise. I just don't know if their noise is going to be effective to get them to a state title.
Yeah.
But I think they can make some noise.
Mhm.
Do you guys think that they are the clear number 2 behind Maryville in that region? Because obviously Bearden's fallen off a little bit. Farragut looks like they've got a good year. Hardin Valley is still rebuilding with their coach that they hired in his second year. But Science or not Science Hill, excuse me. Bradley Central has kind of fallen off since Boo Carter is not,
Mhm.
and that group wasn't
Mhm.
there. Cleveland is traditionally a good power, but
Yep.
realistically, does Oak Ridge position themselves as that clear number 2 behind Maryville?
They can position themselves really well. I think that game with them and Farragut is going to be a big battle for probably the number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Because I think Farragut's going to do some damage too.
Absolutely. No,
They're
I
gonna do some
definitely,
damage.
you can't dismiss it, and then obviously, as far as, Dobbins Bennett, where do they fall in the equation? Do they have a team from Upper East Tennessee that can compete? I mean, two pair, no offense, but we weren't really all that impressed with Jefferson County or Science Hill. And
That's
traditionally
saying
that's going
something.
to be coming out of that of that region 1. And if those are going to be Maryville's first and second round opponents, I think that
Oh
that's going to
gosh.
be
And
run
this is coming
roughshod.
from a team. This is coming from a team that didn't look that good against. Like our West ones didn't look great against Catholic.
Yeah.
And we saw them play against Jefferson County. You would have thought they were world beaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
And then
Wow,
you've
because
got
of
that Jefferson County going up against a Sevier County, a Science Hill, or a
that's
Maryville.
saying something. That's
Yeah.
saying something. Sevier County, Jefferson County's usually Spencer Riley, former UT guy. That guy, he's usually got them ready, charged up, ready to go.
Yeah.
That surprises me that
their last 2 teams.
have not
that-
been
They've
have
not been,
good.
not like that team from a couple of years ago that,
Yeah.
Bearden, got by and so forth in that first
Mhm.
round of the playoffs. And there was a little bit of home cook in there that they tried to get it back for Jefferson County. But yeah, no, Jeff County's really not been where they needed to be. And like you
Mhm.
said, Kerry, that's weird for a Spencer Riley, led team and everything like
Yep.
that. So, yeah.
And it's not to say that he's a bad coach or anything. It's just their last 2 teams that have scrimmaged us, they weren't even close.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
That's
wasn't even
hard.
close.
Man.
Like,
let me ask
we got the film.
We do. Well,
I
let me ask
believe
you,
that.
do you think that the invention of Lakeway Christian starting to get some athletes up there,
Yeah.
that I think that might have taken away from some of their talent pool up there, because realistically, as a hard ass of their coach is or what have you, they are starting to compete and make a name for themselves
Mhm.
as a private school. And remember, the private schools, they make their own rules. They
Yes,
can
they do.
recruit, I don't know what their facilities are like, but that might tamper into how a team, their talent pool, obviously you get that education, you
Yep.
got world-class facilities, some money. There's some advantages of that,
Yes, there are.
and
Look at Catholic.
look at Catholic. I mean,
Man.
Look
my
at
goodness.
Catholic.
Yeah, no, they need that because
Luke
we're not.
Devils is right.
I mean, without even talking about Division II private school, look at what they've got to play this year. Sure, they scheduled Anderson County, Halls, and and Riverdale, which at least they're not having to travel to another state, for goodness sakes.
Exactly.
Murfreesboro is
Right.
far enough, and the
Right.
times change. But they have to travel to MUS, Montgomery Bell Academy,
Mm-hmm.
Brentwood Academy. They've had Lipscomb
Yep.
in the past when Trent Dilfer was coaching there. And of course, who can forget McCallie and Baylor that are the royalty right now, the two Chattanooga schools,
Yes.
and I mean, hell,
Mhm.
Baylor
I
has
was
half
just
of
about
their
to
team from
say.
Canada, for goodness sakes, that they've recruited, that
Yep.
those two campuses look better than some college campuses, to be honest with you. But
Yeah,
that's
you
what
can't say football in Chattanooga without McCauley and Baylor.
was exactly,
Can't say
and that's what
about those
Catholic's
two.
going up against before you even get
Mm-hmm.
to the playoffs or what have you like that, But I think that Catholic's roster definitely didn't have a roster to compete with that last year. From what we saw, they definitely have a roster this year to compete.
From what little bit I saw in the highlights, yeah,
Yeah.
they could compete.
And I'll tell you this: if Tyreek King, I know Tyreek King last year, his goal was to have 2,000 yards receiving, and I'm going to tell you this: despite how it was known that he was going to be getting the ball, and Catholic had some problems at the quarterback position with injuries and so forth like that.
Mm-hmm.
This number 10 this year that they've got, and I'm sorry that I don't know his name. You'll know his name very soon. The way he was dropping dimes for him, I know that they will be keying in on him, but Catholic's got some other weapons that maybe might take away from them blanketing Tyreek. But I think Tyreek has a great shot to get 2,000 yards this year receiving. UT's going to
Guys,
get a great one if he can stay healthy.
guys like Tyreek King are going to find a way to get the ball.
Yes.
You could put 2, 3 guys. You could play zone. You could play a man. He's going to find a way to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Great players always do.
Well, and Two Pair said that during the
Always.
scrimmage. Two Pair said
Always.
that's what you do. You get your playmakers in that space, get him the ball, and then he'll do the rest. And
Yep.
if you give him even a crevice, see ya.
It's a wrap.
It's a
Like
wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
elite.
Yeah.
Elite.
The only
Like,
thing
there's
you
a
better
difference between good and elite. That dude is elite.
The only thing you better hope is that he doesn't look back and do one of these deals with the ball or kind of say something, because them refs will be quick to rob a touchdown of him or
Yes,
something.
they will.
And they called that not against him, but against the Oak Ridge player that did that to a Sevier County in such a very critical part of that state semifinal game.
Yep,
Now
that's
that was
right.
a lack of focus by that Oak Ridge player, but at the same time, you can't do that. When you get to the damn end zone, don't drop the ball early and even make that look like it didn't cross the plane. Just score your damn touchdown and go to the
Exactly.
bench. Celebrate there, man. Honestly, you don't have to be cute. You don't. I mean, not when a game of that magnitude is on the line like that. You can't lose focus like that. And I think that would be realistically the only thing that could stop Tyreek King, this year when it comes to the private school league. But at the same time, man, McCauley going for 3 straight. I think Baylor left one out there, man. I thought Baylor had that last year.
I thought Baylor left it out too.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. It would almost, if only I could just maybe get an eye on that game, because damn it, when they played in Chattanooga, that stadium was practically a sellout. They might as well move that game to where Chattanooga plays if the Monarchs will allow it. So, but, yeah, I mean, maybe it'd be on a week that they don't have a home game that they wouldn't matter with the field or whatever.
That would be awesome.
So, yeah, but no, it's just special stuff. So, well, let's go to the predictions on the state champions and so forth like that. Obviously, we don't know all the teams in the classification, but, let me ask you this. I'm going to throw a name out there for 3A. Do we think that Gatlinburg-Pittman, I'd like to just see how far did the Highlanders get without Alcoa in their way? Because they've had some nice teams in the past, but it always ended in that third week going up against Alcoa, it seems.
A couple of years ago, didn't they have an undefeated team?
They did.
That lost to Alcoa in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I mean, and
only lost.
And where would that team be if they were maybe 2A, or maybe had Alcoa made the jump to 4A that year?
Sooner.
Are you looking at a 3A champion with Gatlinburg-Pittman? I'd like to see them win it. I would love to see Gatlin. They have a very nice facility up there in Gatlinburg-Pittman. and realistically, they could basically look at Sevier County and say, on to you. Did you go back to back? Because now we've got ours, or what have you, in our
Mhm.
classification.
I'm
So
surprised they don't play each other. I'm
yeah,
really surprised they don't play each other because that would be a great rivalry for Sevier County.
yeah.
It
I mean,
would be.
and then you got poor Pigeon Forge that's kind of really stuck in the middle there.
They're
They
the
really are.
stepchild.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yet Pigeon Forge has to play Gatlinburg Pittman. But you're right. I'm surprised that
Mhm.
Gatlinburg Pittman and Sevier County haven't laced it up, because it would be, not trying to even demean the Maryville Alcoa thing, but it's kind of like that, a smaller classification school within the same
Yeah,
county playing the larger school that was the traditional power. But listen, when you talk about Maryville
exactly.
and Alcoa, you're talking about 40 plus state
I'd
championships.
like to
But
see that happen though.
you should want to
You know what I
see
Exactly.
mean?
You're talking.
I love to see like a Gatlinburg, Pittman, Sevier County, then like a Pigeon Forge,
Yeah.
um, what Northview,
Yeah.
Northview. Yep. Northview.
something like that.
Northview Academy, yep. Hey, there's another school, Northview Academy, that you got to
Another
kind of
private.
keep.
Another
Another
private
private school
school.
that could be taken from the talent pool.
Hmm.
So
But that's
oh,
what I'm saying. Like we could have some, we could even really do some different type of things. Looking at it on a whole spectrum of getting games like that
hmm
because they're just right in that area. You
oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Well, they
because
play in basketball. Why shouldn't they play in
that's what
Exactly.
football?
I'm saying. Like they
Yeah.
playing basketball, why not
And now that you
football?
got TV, hey, TV's involved now more than ever. You could make those must see TV. You could get TV if TV can. Mark Packer can stick himself in and make some more rivalry games. That's just good for the brand.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well,
Well, and,
it,
and those schedules are locked in for 2 years,
that's
but
why
it
we
can
try to come
definitely be
up
Yeah.
with this
talked about.
Knoxville hoops, Curry. We need more guys like you, man. That's
Oh man,
why.
because I loved my favorite games to do are the rivalry games. I
Oh,
love the
Mhm.
rivalry games because it's just the passion. You see both fan bases, no matter what the records are, throw them out. They're usually good games, and I mean the passion, the fans, the parents, both coaches, and everything. It's just fun. It's
yeah.
great football.
Let me ask you this, guys, and I haven't looked at their schedule because obviously they're not playing West. But are Fulton and Austin East playing this year?
They should. They usually do play each other every year.
I mean, I just want to make sure, because that's a
I didn't
great.
check that schedule.
I would like to see that, just know, because
I've done a lot of those, and they're
yeah,
usually fun filled. They're usually tough battles, man.
that used to be the game back in the day. Like,
Hmm.
it was like, not only did you get bragging rights, but you talk about a game that would springboard a potential
Yep.
state champion in their respective classification. That game came to mind. Why is that game not featured? Now I'll tell you a game that has been traditionally a big game, because it's like become the Battle of Broadway. Fulton and Central.
Yep.
That's going
Mm.
to be a great one this year. And between them and so forth. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, I was just curious. I'm going to look it up real quick, but yeah, keep talking amongst. How about this? Who do you guys think are your week four? Or sorry, your 4A contender or your state champion? Predict that one. I'm going to look up this Fulton
I'm
schedule.
gonna
For a
I'm gonna predict Alcoa until
man,
somebody changes my mind. Until they get beat.
I don't think nobody's beating Alcoa.
Exactly.
Right? They just
Somebody's got to
deep.
change my mind on the field in a
They just
major.
deep at every position
They
though.
are so deep.
Like
They
they
stay deep. I don't know
at
how
every
they
position.
do it because they stay deep, man. Two,
Like
three stacked at every. It's like it's like Alabama. It's like Alabama when Saban was on. When every position stacked 2 to 3 deep. How are you going to compete with that?
you really can't. And the thing is they've got I think arguably probably one of the best players like with Condis Cherry and Dean, like both of those
Mhm.
guys. Just a mismatch nightmare. And the fact that you got them in basketball too.
Yep. And Coach Rankin's one of the best coaches I've ever seen in history of Tennessee high school football.
And he's not
No.
even at Alcoa anymore. It's now
Is it,
it's
who's
the
it
other
now?
it's Brian. I forget his last name. Coach Brian, who was his defensive coordinator for many
Okay.
years.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Brian's been there for a long time, man.
Long time. Yeah.
A couple of years now. But Gary's down there coaching that smaller school, CPA. I think he's at CPA down there.
And he'll have them winning shortly too.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
that good of a coach.
would you guys believe that Austin East is not on Fulton's schedule this year,
That's
by the way?
amazing.
Yeah, Fulton's schedule is Macon County, the defending 4A champions, ironically.
Wow.
You got Central the next week. They're at Anderson County. They do play at Gatlinburg Pittman. They host Heritage. They host Alcoa. They're on the road for Carter. They host Gibbs. They're on the road at Union County, and they finish out against the Cherokees of South Doyle on October 30th. That's Fulton's
Wow.
schedule, by the way. So no Austin East this year. I was thinking they weren't on there. I was thinking they
That's
weren't on
weird.
there. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
I could count on I've done so many Fulton AE games, football and basketball. That's just a great rivalry. It's
It
a
Yeah.
is.
shame that they're not playing each other this year because all the kids know each other. It seems like if one's not at Fulton, they're at AE and vice versa. Everybody knows each other, and that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If I had to, I mean, honestly, I think Anderson County is going to have a very nice season, but
Yep.
unfortunately, I just think that, like Shane, like you guys said, until somebody beats Alcoa, and I'm not talking about a West or a Maryville, I'm talking about somebody in their classification.
Hmm.
Because truth be told, I can't even tell you that the last time that Alcoa lost a game against somebody in their classification, you'd have to go back to the state championship they lost in 2014, ironically, because they reeled off 10 straight after
Yep.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
After that,
Mm-hmm.
so they've not lost to a 3A school, you know. So now they're a 4A, you know, that's going to be right now until somebody in 4A beats them. It doesn't mean a hill of beans if they lose to West or to Maryville because they don't have to play them in the playoffs. It basically comes down to somebody in 4A going mano a mano with them.
you think about playing for them or Maryville. You go to school there,
Mm.
you on a football team, getting one championship ring is hard enough. You got guys coming out there with 3 or 4 rings.
You do. You
I'm
do.
like, you don't have to do anything. just get a college education, get a job, and you're good for life because you got
Well,
4 state championships. You'll
well,
never be forgotten.
and here's the thing, guys, that I have said to you all off camera that I'll say without any problems on camera. I love the fact that West has kept both those teams on the schedule because
I
it
do
shows
too.
where we're at. Okay. And it gets us prepared for what you're from the other side of the state. And, we knew that 22 team was special because they beat both of those teams. They beat both Alcoa and Maryville. We knew 22 was a special group. 23, we beat Maryville. I would have loved to have seen us against Alcoa with a healthy Marshawn Bowers. Just
I
saying.
agree.
I love me
I
some Marshawn
agree.
Bowers. And all I can remember is still those Alcoa coaches coming up and hugging him after the game. And I'm not trying to start anything, but I'm almost like, hey, thanks for not playing. Or we know that it would have been a
Mm-hmm.
different game had
Yep.
we had to worry
Mm-hmm.
about you, Marshawn. I love Marshawn Bowers.
I know.
So
I do
Definitely a little
too.
more so.
Great kid.
yeah.
Unbelievable talent.
Just a beat.
Unbelievable
Dude, when
talent.
he squatted that 600 pounds, I was like, we're okay at running back. I know
Yeah,
you
we're
lose
fine.
Braden Latham to Eastern Kentucky, who's killing it, and shout out to him. He's a
Yep.
fan of the show. But honestly though, but man,
Yeah,
Marshawn, oof,
Marshawn, we're
yeah,
like, we're fine.
woo, we're fine.
We're
Yeah,
good.
move from receiver and go to running back and still take your strong safety position. Nothing getting by Marshawn Bowers.
You
So
got
yeah.
that right.
Yeah. But still going about the state champions and so forth, let's move on to 5A. Okay. Does Sevier County go back to back? Does Page or Beach take the title finally to the other side of the state?
Good question.
Or does Powell get back in there, or does West, like I've been predicting, do the 3 out of 4, the Nebraska Cornhuskers? What
Hey,
what what do you think right now? So
I think the title stays in East Tennessee. I think the fact that they're all playing each other toughens them up for the teams out in Page and Beach and them because I don't think they play tough enough teams out there. We play tough enough teams here to get us ready for that playoff level, for that state championship level.
I think that's perfectly said. What do you think, Two Pair?
Mm. Good
He's thinking.
question.
He's thinking.
Ooh, let me think.
But I'll tell you this, while he's thinking, Kerry, you're right about something because all I kept hearing about was, oh, nobody's gotten close to Page. They've only allowed 9 points all year and everything like that with that defense. And then when they played Sevier County, they got it, pretty much handed to them, in my
Hmm.
opinion. I mean, they looked slow, no offense. I mean, I think Sevier County's toughest game. I mean, so one could argue that the Sevier County West game was really your state championship.
Mm.
In the
That's it.
So, were you asking me the state champion for?
5A for 5A now. Who do you think,
Man,
Snow?
I hope we can take it, but
Oh
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying.
why
Of
Because
not?
I
course.
think
Why
there's
not?
I think there's a ton of talent in 5A. I mean, Sevier County is right there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be pesky. Powell. I think there's a lot of good schools in that 5A realm, and I think we got a good
Hmm.
chance at taking it. But I really think Sevier County might have a lot to say.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they're the champ until somebody says otherwise, in my
Yep.
opinion. I mean, I'm going to throw this out there, guys. I'm just going to say something real quick. I will. This is what I argue. I can make a prediction that West wins the state, but what's going to be their record after September or October? Because here's where my point is. Maybe they don't start out that strong, but they haven't in the last couple of years. But they got better as the season went on. And then when that aha moment comes on, that's when you start to see it. I'm going to give you an example. The aha moment for West came after the Anderson County game, in my opinion. The Anderson County Halls game of the 23 season, West didn't look back.
Yep.
Last year, it was the Anderson County game again that really I felt propelled West. The Anderson County Halls game propelled West. It was a referee that changed that course of that team, but they were playing some great ball.
Yep.
That Powell game, the game against Davy Crockett,
Halls, that was
and then
crazy.
of course that second round game against Halls where were not going to let anything come to chance. I mean, they just
Hmm.
ran them off the field. But that being said, right now, if I was to say who looks the best, one could argue Powell with Deuce Rogers
Yep.
because they're the ones that blew that 2 touchdown lead to Sevier County last year.
Hmm.
So what do they have to say about it? And realistically, but like you said, Sevier County is the man until somebody says they're not the man. But I'm still going to go with West. I believe in this team. I think that they have a chip on their shoulder, and realistically, I think that Catholic scrimmage really woke them up. And I'm really wanting to see what we see Saturday against Bearden and every week from then on, if that makes sense. But what do you guys think if you go out with a team? Who would you
I
go?
agree. I agree with you at West. I think they'll get. I think after September they'll be better. I like the idea. Playing the tough games early, getting their feet wet. Some of
Mhm.
these guys haven't gotten their feet wet in a situation like this,
They
Mm.
so it'll
haven't.
be good for them. It'll be very good for them. I've always been a believer: the tougher the competition you play, the tougher it makes you.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
going down the stretch. And you mentioned the 23 season, the 22 season. To me, losing that tough game to Alcoa was probably the best thing that could have happened because after that they ran the table.
Yeah. Yeah. They did.
Going to Powell and winning that semifinal the day after Thanksgiving, we were not going to be. I saw a look. They were not going to be denied.
Hmm.
I'm waiting to see that look again
Oh
because
yeah.
when I see that look again, they're not going to be denied.
Oh yeah.
There's too much winning. This senior group has been a part of as part of winning. There's been too much winning, and they
I
got a
love
chip
that
on
you.
their shoulder. And
I
they
love
got a
that you.
chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I love that you said that because here's the thing. I mean, with this senior class has only lost. I want everybody to really think about this. They've only lost 4 games in their
Exactly.
career, and they start the new chapter of their senior year on Saturday. I mean, they
Mhm.
went undefeated as freshmen, part of
Yep.
that.
Mm.
They lost 1 game in 23,
Yep.
and then they
Mhm.
lost 3 games last year. Actually, it was four. We lost four. Yeah, we lost 4 games last year. But here's the thing: the Alcoa game and the Maryville game were outliers. But those Beard and Sevier County games were lost in overtime
Exactly.
by a very slim
One
margin.
possession. One possession.
So realistically, so they've lost they lost 5 games in their entire
Exactly.
careers, and now they're the guys. And you've got a
Mm.
special group of seniors there. You do, and you've got a very good core of classes behind them that are ready to contribute. We Two Pair and I have seen some freshmen that have stepped in there
Yeah.
already that look the part,
And
and
they've got a chip on their
will continue.
shoulder. They've got the ultimate chip on their shoulder.
They do.
Nobody thinks they can do it.
Yes.
After everything that's happened in the off season, nobody thinks they can do it.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
them against the world.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
usually when they play them against the world, I'm going to go with them because I know what's inside of them.
Mhm.
Mm.
And
And-
they
and-
know what's
and-
inside of them.
Well, and guys, let me tell you this: when I send you the roster, I'm just telling you this right now. They've got almost every number taken. I mean, they've
Mm.
got almost every number taken, and it's a very good distribution of players from all classes and position groups. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this team on Saturday. Obviously, we'll delve into that game more, and so forth. But
I know
but
the
Super,
student body's going to be geeked.
exactly. Both
They're
both
gonna
both,
be
both student
geeked.
bodies should be geeked.
They're going to be geeked.
And Tuper, let me ask you this: going to
Mm.
6A, are you just going to go with Maryville, or do you think Oakland gets it done this year? Ravenwood out there. I mean, what do you think? You think Maryville finally gets back on top this year of the mountaintop?
Well, the way they finished the season, you know what I'm saying? It was a telltale sign for me. I feel like they'll have somebody in that conference, that region that's gonna give them problems. Um, Now I want to say you said Oakland.
Yeah, big
Was
Oakland
it?
out there in Murfreesboro. I mean, they've kind
They
of
just
been.
haven't had an answer for Oakland,
They haven't.
Yep.
and that's been the problem is they haven't found the answer for how to beat them when it comes down to a big game.
hmm
You're right.
And most of the time, it's been at their place.
It has
Got
been.
to get them away from their place and get them to this side of the world.
Well, and it is one of those years that they would, if the stars align and they do
They would
collide
come
in the
here.
trajectory, Oakland has to come this year. Yeah, just like here's the advantage of a West or a Sevier County or a Powell, whoever survives that gauntlet, Halls, Central, whoever,
hmm
if they're standing after 3 weeks of hell,
Yep.
then guess what? The day after Thanksgiving, whoever's coming from the winner of the Region 3 and 4 has to travel
So,
to Knoxville or to Sevier County
yep.
to play the day after Thanksgiving.
They don't want that. I don't
Mm-mm.
think they want that.
So, again, that's the advantage you have this year being an odd year.
It's an odd year. Yep.
It's an odd year.
Mhm.
Even year, this side of the state has to travel to the
To there.
Region 3, 4
That's
like
right.
last year. So, yeah. And so for Sevier County, they didn't have to go that far to Oak Ridge, but there was potential that they would have to go down to Chattanooga. And now
Yep.
with the regions kind of expanding, you might even end up in damn cold Columbia, Tennessee the day
Exactly.
after Thanksgiving. I've done that, and I don't want to live that hell again, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
that's pretty cold out there,
I
man.
still have
Mm.
nightmares of Shaq Mason running down Ivan Freeman. So that's
Ooh.
the thing from that 2010 group. Shout out to them. So, but that being said, I think you can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's hard to predict. Injuries happen, things happen, but referees make calls. But at the end of the day,
Yep.
I think we're going to have an exciting season when it's all said and done. But
I think
let's
so
get to
too.
the week 0 predictions. Okay. Now, the one game, Two Pair, I'm going to let you make a prediction because obviously you're not going to be there on Saturday. But me and Carrie are going to save our prediction for the actual live show on Saturday. But let me
Okay.
ask you this, Two Pair. What are you looking for in this Beard and West game on Saturday? I hate that you can't be a part of it. But in your opinion, what do you think are the factors in the game and who ultimately wins it if you had to predict the Beard and West game Saturday night in Marble City?
Ooh, man. I gotta say, Wes got to be running the football.
Yep.
Wes got to control that clock. get a lot of play action with Harrison, and depending on the way this game can go, we may see hypo action.
There, there,
Man,
there's no doubt. I mean, you could see Cannon, you could see Jace. You never know. You never know what you might see out there. So, I will tell you this. I will make a prediction on Saturday. I will say I agree with you that West has got that three-headed monster back there, and I'm going to tell you this. There's a fourth guy that is just chomping at the bit in Whiteer, and I hope I'm saying his name correct. He's number 26. I finally have a name for him. He's impressed me, but realistically, it starts with Messiah Wren, the senior. Raheem
Hmm.
Lee has shown what he can do. And then obviously you got Jamari Goins as well. I mean, you have got a stable of tailbacks back there. And that story has not changed with West football for years now, honestly, that you
mm,
have a good group of guys that run the rock. And if that offensive line can dictate and open up the holes. And as you mentioned, you got the play action pass, that he's got targets like Yarik and Silas and also Big Country. I
mm,
mean, this offense could be very, very special. Kaywood Rose as well. I mean, you've got a very special group. In my opinion, that this offense has a very big potential to really perform. And then you've got a defense led by JP Peace that's just going to be, very
no
fast and
doubt.
very, very the angles that they take to the ball and being physical. So
Hmm.
that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to. And then you got a special teams group with a Colquitt punting it and Addison Klein kicking the ball. So you got what I'm interested in is who's going to step in that Antoine Burdine role and Six Horde role and Jaquarius Wren role of
Hmm.
returning the kicks that have been traditionally big time moves for West that you can get it right off the bat without even having that. And,
Mm.
Silas Monroe is going to get that first crack at it, but I'm intrigued to see who else, gets that opportunity. But going to the other games, though, we'll talk more about Bearden. But obviously, but two pair, do you got West or do you got Bearden on Saturday? What's your prediction in that one?
Oh man, I'm running with the Rebels, man.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So, hey,
Anytime against Bearden.
damn right. Basketball, baseball, we got to go with West. Come on now. So, yeah, I hear
Water
you.
polo.
Water polo, so synchronized swimming. So, yeah, for sure. So, all right, well, let's talk about the appetizer tomorrow night. Halls at Oak Ridge. Amari Lethgo and Halls trying to make a name for themselves, that they are a contender in 5A, taking on a former 5A that's a 6A. What do you guys got? And by how much, if you got a score? Go for it.
I'll let you get this one first, Curry.
This is going to be a fun opening games. You don't know what you're going to get, but it's going to be fun. I think right now, when I see two teams that are pretty well stocked and ready to compete, I'm looking at where the game is played. I think Oak Ridge wins, and I'm going to go with 27-20. I think it's going to be a really good and exciting football game. Get the season going and get the fans, not just there, but everywhere else. Just get them excited. I think it's going to be that kind of game.
Sounds good. Two pair. What's your thoughts on it?
Mm. It's gonna be a good game, man. Like we gonna see a lot of talent on
Hmm.
both sides. The one thing about that Halls for Halls and Oak Ridge, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, the talent level that they start with at the little league level, like they start at such a young age, and to
Hmm.
get them to able to be doing what they're doing, I think Oak Ridge might surprise people. I think Oak Ridge wins.
It's a good pick. I'm gonna tell you this. My keys to the game is strength on strength. I definitely like the score you gave, Kerry. I'll tell you this. One thing that if Halls is ready to take the next step, they've got to get better defensively.
Hmm.
Um, some could argue that when West played Halls the first time around, West was just not very good with the ball, taking care of it, and those turnovers kept Halls in the game.
Yep.
Halls can score. Halls is talented offensively. Got a great quarterback in Amari Lethgo. But the thing is I was not that impressed with Oak Ridge is defensive capabilities last year when guarding the pass. And they've shown some issues in the scrimmages that they've played. That being said, though, Derek Rang is in control of the defense. I'm sure he's made some adjustments and
Hmm.
will masquerade some things to maybe trick Halls into maybe making some throws that they're not maybe wanting to make. But at the end of the day, um, is Halls' defense ready to step up and be against a physical front like Oak Ridge and a running back that Oak Ridge has that's an absolute beast? And I think he's going to be the difference in that game, and he's going to control the clock. And Oak Ridge's best defense might be to control the clock and chew up those yards and get those touchdowns on the ground to keep that Hall's potent offense off the field. That being said, I like Oak Ridge in this one, 31-21, and but I wouldn't be surprised if Halls pulls it off. But it's just very tough, especially with TV there, to go into Blankenship Field, the railroad crossing, the tradition, Big Ed's Pizza, all that.
Hmm.
I just think Oak Ridge is going to be too much come Thursday night. So, and I will say this much: Shane actually likes Halls in this one. He's going to go against us and go 27-24. So I like it. We'll definitely keep the we'll
This
keep an
would
eye on
be
it
a
tomorrow
big
night.
moment for. This would be a welcome to the world moment for Halls.
It
This
would
would
be.
be a serious welcome to the world moment to walk into Oak Ridge and beat them.
Yep, absolutely it
That
would.
would be serious welcome to the world. Like, okay, we're here. We're a contender.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
get us.
I'm going to go to Saturday's game very quickly before I go to the two slugfest tomorrow night. Farragut versus Sevier County. Again, Farragut's the home team, even though both teams are going to be playing in beautiful Burke Tar Stadium there at Carson Newman. My question to you guys is, does Farragut, who has a very difficult schedule themselves, they also have to travel to Cookeville and Upperman this year, as well as they take on Powell next week. Farragut could really use this game to springboard in their tough region that they play in, and well, it's a tough schedule all around. But
Hmm.
does Farragut pull off the upset, or does Sevier County continue their 15-game winning streak that went they went undefeated last year at 15-0? This would be 16 in a row if Sevier County gets by Farragut. What do you guys think in this one?
I'm gonna go in a tough game, and I think Sevier County. But Farragut's best chance is to actually force some turnovers against a quarterback that doesn't give up the ball much. If they can force a couple of mistakes, capitalize on them mistakes, Farragut's going to hang around. But I think Sevier County takes them, I'm going to say 27-17.
Okay, good pick. Good pick. Two pair, what do you think? Farragut or Sevier County? Oh, I think you're on mute. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, give me Sevier County, but I really think Farragut's going to put up a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Farragut 23, Sevier County 27.
Okay. So Sevier County wins a close one there. I'll tell you, keys to the game, just like the Oak Ridge Halls game. Farragut's returning their quarterback, but they lost two fantastic receivers from last year
Mm-hmm.
that really were ballers. And but I think Farragut's got a very good stable of running backs. They're running behind a very good big offensive line. Um, Farragut last year maybe didn't have the offensive line that they've been accustomed to, but they did get better as the season went on. But I think that Farragut's best chance is to keep Cooper off the field, control the clock that way. I will be interested to see how Farragut's DBs hold up against that Sevier County passing attack. Like you mentioned, Sevier County did lose some guys that were some stellar seniors from that group, but all in all, they're still big up front. But I think Sevier County gets it done. Give me Sevier County 28, Farragut 24. That's what I like in that one. So,
I
yeah.
would have gone with Farragut if this game was at Farragut. But the fact that this
Mm.
game is at Carson Newman and they're supposed to be the home team, that kind of takes away a little bit of the advantage of being a home team.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the coach himself has spoken. He actually likes Farragut in the upset, 38-27 over Sevier County. So, yeah, look at that. So, I'll tell you one thing. You talk about a game that might send shockwaves through it. It would just be because, obviously, Not to take anything away from Farragut. It's just that so many people are talking about Sevier County and the return of Cooper Newman at quarterback.
Mhm.
That it's
Hmm.
just a different. They're on a different level. But Farragut could really send some shockwaves, and
Yes, they could.
definitely. I mean, the fact that Farragut's taken on two of the top five teams in the state in the first 2 weeks in 5A in Sevier County and Powell, respectively. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, that's pretty big right off the bat.
And if
So,
they get one of the two, they'd be very happy. You
yeah.
get one out of the two, they'd be ecstatic because that would set them up for a good rest of
Instead
the
of the
year.
whole ball
Yeah.
Yeah,
for the year.
that sets
Yeah.
their whole year up.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to the Anderson County at Powell game for Rivalry Friday. I've been going back and forth on this one. I'll go first on this one. I'm going to tell you this. I think that Anderson County is improved. Look, Anderson County won the game last year, and whether Connor Wheeler would have made a difference, sure. But I will say this, if there was 5 more minutes left in that game, I think Powell would have won it. I think that Powell got over the initial shock of what happened. But I think that the game was at Anderson County last year. This year being at Powell looks different, guys. There's something about
Mm.
them. They have that
Yeah,
look, and Deuce Rogers looks every bit of the part. And I'm going to tell you this. I think that Jason Thompson and Anderson County might score a little bit here, but give me Powell 31-14 over Anderson County tomorrow or Friday night. I think that Powell is really wanting some revenge of losing to Anderson County, and don't be surprised if Powell wins that one going away. To be honest with you, I
Hmm.
could be wrong, but I just think that there's something different about this Powell team and the way I heard Coach Lowe talking at the Jamboree when he was mic'd up and everything. He's got a team. And when he's got a team, he's not going to masquerade or be Lou Holtz. He's going to go for the throat. And
mhm.
you talk about a revenge tour last year, too, Pair. Powell might
Hmm.
be on their revenge tour this year. Just saying. But what do you guys think about this game?
I like Powell in this game. I'm like you. I think the fact that it's at Powell and the way they looked at the Jamboree,
Hmm.
dangerous, man.
Dangerous.
I'm looking at 38-21. And I don't think it'll be and I'll be surprised if it's that close.
Yeah.
I
No.
think Anderson County's improved, but not enough to that level yet.
No.
Not
Yeah,
enough.
still got ways to go.
They
No.
lost so much off that state championship team that it was probably going to take them another class just to get back to a possible level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that state championship team that they had, Xavier's West, was a tremendous, tremendous team.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And I'll tell you this, the other thing that you got to really look at with this matchup too, if we're being in all honest right now,
Mm.
think about this with Anderson County and Powell. Anderson County, Jason Thompson, phenomenal player, but you know, eh, these Powell guys have played together for a bit.
Oh yeah,
Anderson County is kind of putting some parts together. How does that register opening game?
hmm
And I think that can't be looked upon. Like so. What do
yeah.
you
That,
think, two pair, Powell or Anderson County, and you have a score on that one?
Hmm. Call Anderson County. I really like what Anderson County has done with the new transfers. I like what Anderson County has done with the kids that have came there. Give me Anderson County 21, Powell 14.
Ooh,
upset.
okay. Well, Shane kind of goes with you and me, Carrie. He likes Powell big, 35-17, so that's what he likes and so forth. So, and Shane mentioned, with Bearden down, it is a battle in 6A for number two.
Yeah.
Farragut, like I said, Farragut or Oak Ridge, I think that matchup could determine who gets that two seed,
hmm
and that being a
I
rivalry
agree.
Thursday game later in the year. Look out, so for that one. So, obviously, let's go to the big one Friday night, Maryville at Alcoa. Over 40 state championships between the two schools. Um, you know, um, I'll tell you this, guys. Um, I'll go first on this one. I'll let you guys decide of what you all want to of who wants to go next. But this is what I think about this game. 2 years ago, Maryville was down. Nobody gave them a shot. Everybody thought that Alcoa, if they had a year that Alcoa was going to beat them good, that it was supposed to be, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Alcoa.
Mm-hmm.
Maryville has a gutsy performance from Gage Ledoux, playing barely back from a broken leg, scores 2 touchdowns. Maryville upsets Alcoa, you know. And then Maryville loses to Farragut the next week after already losing to Bearden and West that year,
Yep.
and Science Hill. But that being said, Maryville gets the win over Alcoa. Alcoa's only blemish that year for that state championship.
Mm-hmm.
Then last year, you know, a lot of people thought that Maryville was going to win that game pretty handily because of the revenge tour. And Alcoa had not looked that great against West, even though they had won. And Alcoa got it handed to them by Ravenwood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, Alcoa comes back and beats Maryville. So what I'm getting at is when you think one team is going to win, the other team usually does steal it for the most,
Mm-hmm.
or it's not going to be some blowout. It's going to be some close, game. I expect nothing different from the sort from tomorrow or Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to say this: for whatever reason, I just think Will Jones and Maryville are a little bit ahead than Alcoa right now. I think Alcoa is going to be Alcoa is, one thing about that Alcoa team last year, they had the two Eli's. Yes, Condis is very and Jameer are very talented, but this quarterback is probably very talented, but it's one thing to do it on the biggest stage at home. And Maryville might know his weaknesses. They may know some things that they can game plan for. And not to mention, Maryville's added a two-time state winning coach as their defensive line coach in Lamar Brown. Give me Maryville.
Let's get richer.
Give me Maryville 28, Alcoa 17.
I have Maryville too, 21-17. I think it's a close game. And I actually think, yes, Lamar Brown being with Maryville, I actually think his defense makes a couple big plays. And that's the difference. And I think that's the difference. And again, I think Will Jones has an outstanding night. And I think I think Will Jones and their defense will be the difference in
Absolutely.
a tough ball game. Throw
Tooper,
out
who do
for
you like? Who do you like, Maryville or Alcoa, Tooper?
I like Alcoa, man. I really do. Even
Yeah.
though Maryville's been on a revenge tour, I just like the weapons that Alcoa possesses with Sherry and Dean.
Well, I'll tell you this. One thing, I'm going to give Shane's prediction real quick. Maryville over Alcoa, close by 1 point, 28-27. I will say this much about this game. Look at these two teams right here playing right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
The next week, Maryville's got to play West.
Yep.
Alcoa obviously is got West in a couple of weeks. After that, they've got the Anderson County. My point that I'm trying to make is that whoever wins this game is going to really springboard their season into something
Mm-hmm.
even more special, because yes, state championships are
Mm-hmm.
the goal, but with these teams, there's just something about a 15-0 record. And Alcoa really
Yep.
hasn't had a 15-0 record. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alcoa gets it done. But realistically, watch me be wrong and Alcoa take care of it and so forth. But like I said, there's a lot to be said that Will Jones is now in his third year in that system. And I think that, with Lamar Brown's addition, I think that Maryville has gotten much better. And I think that they know that they let one slip last year against Alcoa, and even with the game being in Pistol Creek, I think they're going to get it done. So, but that being said, I just think that you just cannot dismiss what this team,
Mm-hmm.
what these two teams, what they've accomplished, what they will accomplish this year. And like I said, I'm excited to see them firsthand when West plays them
Mm-hmm.
respectively at Maryville and when Alcoa comes back to Marble City this year. So,
Yep.
yeah. Um, guys, great show tonight, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to thank everybody for participating and the views. If you're watching, hit that like button. It generates the views for us, dude. More than anything, one thing that I want to just advertise Saturday morning. I'm going to give you all a little sneak peek of what we have planned, so you can tune in. Let me just tell you this: if you've got nothing going on Saturday morning, come join us at the stadium. We'd love to hear you yell and scream behind us. If not, watch it from the comfort of your home. I'm not worried about the weather. It might be partly cloudy. There's supposed to be scattered storms in the afternoon. Let me tell you something, baby. When West and Bearden get on the damn field, it's a lightning storm happening anyway. So, that's
Exactly.
not going to stop nothing. Everybody needs to show up. Everybody needs to be loud. I don't know if Coach Gahn is doing his wreaths for veterans thing, but you bring some cash with you to donate to that beautiful cause so we can put wreaths on all the veterans' graves when it comes for Veterans Day. That's where they raise that money for. But also more than anything, Saturday morning has been something that I told Two Pair 25 years ago that it would be a dream of mine to do a live game day show from West High School to do the Bearden West game, and it's going to come to fruition Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. So tune in. I'd love over 100 views, just like last year's got at Bearden Stadium. But now we're at our stadium. We're at historic Bill Wilson Field in Marble City. And if you tune in, you will get a potential first sneak peek look inside the West High Fieldhouse. That has been exclusively promised me if the stars align by Coach. So you will get to see me physically walk with my phone camera with you on the show to see
Mm.
the inside of the new locker room and the fruits of hard labor of the money that was donated, that was raised, and the construction that was done, and the parents and everybody that has contributed to make that this program stays the program in this area. When so many have loved to see it fall, we ain't going nowhere. And it starts on Saturday. So please tune in Saturday morning. We'll talk about the classic games with West and Bearden that have happened there, including the game that I've been advertising, the immortal dance to Horde that will live in infamy with
Mm.
coming back to win there with 17 seconds left 2 years ago. But so many other big games that happened there. We'll talk about the series. This will be the 63rd meeting. Again,
Yep.
I know that Five Guys or whoever is saying it's 58 meetings. I'm going by the National Football Historical Records of Tennessee. This will be officially the 63rd meeting. Bearden has an edge. However, I'll talk about ever since 1999, it has been clearly in the decisive favor of West and
Of
so forth.
West.
And
Yep.
we'll talk about that. But tune in 9 o'clock live from West High School. Hit that like and subscribe button. It's Rebels with a Cause, guys. Carrie, thank you for always being on the show. Two Pair, I love you, brother. I hate
You
that you're
know
not
it.
going to be there Saturday,
Yeah, I
but
know, man.
Carrie, final thoughts, and then Two Pair close us out, baby. I'm the Italian stallion. I'm done for the night.
Big game carry. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I would feel like I would be like Coach Corso, be there, just sit, be there and having fun. This is a first for me to be at a game day site when I'm not working in uniform or anything else. I'm just a normal fan. I'm really excited about that.
We need to get you headgear for your predictions.
Yeah,
So
I
we need to
need
get you
more. If
headgear.
I could get the Rebel head, that would be awesome. I could
Oh,
put
he's already given a little bit. He's given a preview of who he's got. We're not going to get Zach the Bulldog on the table. We're going to have
well, give
a
me give me a Bulldog and a Rebel, and I'll
yeah,
pick the one
and
I
he'll pick
want to
that
win.
one. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe we can talk to Morgan Shinliver if they have a Bearden Bulldog thing that we could borrow for the to see who you would pick. But no, Kerry, I'm so glad that you'll be there with me on Saturday, and I hope Shane can still make it. I know that he's had some things coming up and so
Hmm.
forth, but we'd love to have him there as well and so forth. But Two Pair, as always, baby, just like old times, close us out, baby. Rebel was the
Well, if you stuck with us this long, you really enjoyed high school football. You threw your dubs up. Um, it's gonna be a great weekend, and I hope you get to enjoy these games like we are about to enjoy them. And just know that there's gonna be some really good football in your area. You need to go to one of these games. Check out the talent. Check out the future of the city and in college. I mean, high school and college sports. So that's from here, from Rebels with a Cause and 332 Studios. Throw your dubs up. Have a great one.
That's right. Boom.